Robert Carter, outstanding work as we get set here in San Antonio. Up next, the keys to tonight's game. Florida and Houston. You're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/score. Ethos.com/score.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Why pay more for a great shave? Choose Barbasol, America's #1 brand of shaving cream. Barbasol's thick and rich lather gives you a close, comfortable shave for just half the price of gels.
Barbasol. So, your small business is outgrowing your garage. You could go online, find a space, and get catfished. Or you could work with an agent who's a realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Courtside in San Antonio, ahead of the national championship game in the men's basketball tournament between the Houston Cougars and the Florida Gators with Robbie Hummel, Coach PJ Carlissimo, our entire Westwood One crew. I'm Kevin Kugler. It's time for the keys to this game, sponsored by Realtors. Buying a home can be a lot, but with the ethical expertise of a realtor, you don't have to do it alone. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. All right, let's start with Robbie. What do you see as the keys between these two teams for the title?
Well, for Florida, they've got to find opportunities to get out and run and be in transition. Second nationally in fast break points per game, but that doesn't mean you can be loose with the basketball. They've got to take care of it. 9th in the SEC this season with 11 turnovers a game. Houston will make you pay if you turn the basketball over. You have to handle their pressure. For the Houston Cougars, it's all about guarding Walter Clayton, the guy that's averaging 24 points a game and doing it at a 50, 40, 90 clip over 5 NCAA tournament games. Nobody's been able to slow down Walter Clayton. Houston's one of the best defensive teams in college basketball. We'll see what Kelvin Sampson has cooked up for him.
All right, PJ Carlissimo, how do you see this one shaping up?
Well, Robbie's right on, and Kelvin Sampson spent so much time yesterday talking about Walter Clayton, what they needed to do. But the bigger challenge, not bigger, but biggest challenge, I think, for Houston, they got to manufacture points. They're against one of the best. They are the best defensive team in the country, but they're against an excellent offensive team. They got to make threes. They got to get some second chance points. They got to get to the free throw line. They got to manufacture some offense. For Florida, Todd Golden always says we got to be ourselves. That means rebound. They are, by any metric, including against a great rebounding team like Houston, they are elite. They have to dominate the glass.
Finally, after all the talk, the opening tip-off between Florida and Houston is coming up. You're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new rotors.
When you buy 2 Duralast rotors during our spring sale, you get Duralast brake pads free.
Free?
With the rotors.
Well, that's great. What if I need extra stopping power?
You can upgrade to Duralast Gold pads for just $10.
So Duralast pads are free?
Yep.
And an upgrade is just $10?
That's right. Part of the spring sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Gators and Cougars ready to go for a national championship. And let's check the starting lineups, sponsored by Cintas. Workdays are better when you partner with Cintas. Keep your team protected, prepared, and looking great. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday for the Florida Gators. Walter Clayton Jr. has been the talk of the tournament, averaging 24.6 points per game in the tourney, 18.5 points per game on the year, the 6'2 senior. Joined in the backcourt by Will Richard, 6'4 senior from Fairburn, Georgia, averaging 13 points per game. And Elijah Martin, the third guard in that three-guard backcourt, the 6'2 grad transfer from FAU, 14.6 points per game. But in 2 career Final Four games, he averages 21.5 points per game. Up front, Alex Condon. Can he bounce back from a rough outing Saturday? 6'11 sophomore, averages 10.5 points per game. And Ruben Chinyelu, the big man in the middle, the 6'10 sophomore from Nigeria, averaging 6 points and nearly 7 rebounds per game. For the Houston Cougars, Kelvin Sampson's 11th team. L.J. Cryer leads the backcourt. The graduate who started his career at Baylor, averaging 15.5 points per game, the 6'1 guard. Joined back there by Milos Uzan. Second team All Big 12, 6'4 junior from Las Vegas, 11.5 points per game. And Emmanuel Sharp, the 6'3 junior, averaging 13 points per game this year. Jawan Roberts, one of the heroes of Saturday, the 6'8 graduate who averages 11 points per game. And in the front court with him, JoJo Tugler, the Lefty Drizel Award for the nation's top defensive player. 5.5 points, 6 rebounds per game. Our officials, Ron Gruber, Doug Sermons, Terry Oglesby. Once again, let's check in with Andy Katz.
All right, thank you, Kevin. I spoke with Florida assistant Corey McRae on the court just before tip-off. He says, look, they expect a physical game, as we all know. They had one against Texas Tech. Their guards are ready for it. They were locked in all day. They had an intense shoot-around, but they feel very confident because they've got good passing bigs if Houston tries to double at any point and the traps come. And you cannot forget, they were down against Texas Tech. They were down against Auburn. They came back in both, and they're playing for the championship here tonight.
And here we go, Andy. It's time now for the opening tip, sponsored by AutoZone. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Florida in the road blues tonight. Orange numerals on front and back. Houston in the home whites. Red trim. Red numerals on front and back. And the script Houston in red across the front of those white jerseys. Tugler, Chinyelu, middle of the floor. Ready to jump this one up. Every single fan in the Alamodome standing as one. Cheerleaders jumping up and down on each side. The national title game is here. And we're ready to get it started. The ball's in the air. The tip is controlled by Houston. They'll move from our left to our right. And we are underway. Milos Uzan will bring it up. Uzan working it across the half-court line. He's met by Elijah Martin. Brings it over to the right-hand wing. Extended out on the block is Roberts. Jawan Roberts facing Alex Condon, trying to back him down. Roberts leaning in, turns, right-hand hook on the baseline. No. Rebound tipped out of bounds by Tugler, and it'll belong to the Florida Gators.
Well, these Florida Gator defenders held up in one-on-one coverage Saturday night against Janai Broome. And the first play of the game is ISO for Jawan Roberts on the right block. Nice job there by Alex Condon, not giving him the left hand. You make him counter to that weak side. It's in and out, and Florida gets a stop on the first possession of the game.
Gators have yet to inbound. There is a question with the clock. They're now resetting it. 19:40. It had run off of 6 additional seconds. Walter Clayton Jr. is going to bring this one up. From right to left, he'll flip it to Condon. A handoff on the dribble to Will Richard, weaving it back to Clayton, middle of the floor. Clayton will swing it around to the right side, gets it right back. Clayton, deep three. 5 feet behind the arc, launched that one off the rim, and it goes out of bounds. That's an early heat check.
Yeah, I was going to say, heat check 25 or 35 seconds in. Dribble weave, you're going to see a very confident player, though. A first-team All-American, 15 games this year of 20 points or more, 21 games where he's made 3 three-pointers or more. This dude is riding the wave. He's not going to fear getting shots up.
Uzan will start this one up for Houston with Tugler now, middle of the floor against Chinyelu. Chinyelu reaching for the basketball. Tugler dribbles into the paint, and a right-handed hook from 8 feet is good. And Houston on the board, 2-0.
Well, Chinyelu trying to bring some pressure, and that's the ultimate pressure release. JoJo Tugler puts it on the floor, not known for his scoring, but getting one early.
Condon now will pop out, swing around to the right-hand side. Hands to Richard on the weave. Right back it goes to Condon. Condon trying to dislodge Tugler in the right block. Double team comes. He's in trouble on the baseline. Flips it out to Martin. 3 left wing. Off the back iron, no good. And the rebound, Uzan for Houston. Uzan with a left-hand dribble. Chest pass to the right-hand wing and Sharp. And Sharp will overlook this situation, send it back to Uzan. Backing it up on the Final Four logo. Uzan calling out Tugler. He wants the screen, trying to pick off Martin. He does. Pick up on a switch by Condon. Now Martin recovers, gives to Sharp. Contested 3, right wing, no. Offensive rebound, Tugler for Houston. Up top, Cryer. Deep 3, top of the key. That's off. Tugler bats the rebound in the air, and Roberts swats it into the hands of Sharp. He'll weave through the Gator defense. Gets to the rim. His shot won't go, and Chinyelu the rebound. Martin will push it ahead quickly to Clayton. Clayton runs into Condon for a 2-hand flush. Condon leaking out, and we're tied at 2.
Well, maybe that gets Alex Condon going. Only had a point against Auburn. Did not look confident, but he runs the floor. Florida going to have to do a better job on the defensive end of closing down possessions. Houston with 2 offensive rebounds, but no blood.
And Condon trying to get a steal, tips it into the backcourt. Uzan tracks it down with 10 to shoot. He'll bring it across into the front court. Uzan a little hesitation. Now dribbles past Martin. A floater over Chinyelu and off the window and good. 4-2 Houston.
Boy, big time freeze right there. That hesitation there freezes the defense.
Feed to Condon, running the floor, and Roberts commits the foul. And Roberts with both palms extended, not asking where the foul was, but where his defense was, as Condon beat everybody down the floor for a second trip.
Yeah, that's twice now where we've seen Florida be able to get out and run. It's what they want to do. Average almost 16 fast break points per game. Alex Condon has been the beneficiary both times.
Best in the SEC at running, second in the country, as Robbie mentioned in his keys to the game. And Condon going to the free throw line, just a 60% free throw shooter this year. And already a better and more aggressive start tonight.
But
for Alex
getting
Condon.
some easy baskets, it's got to be where he's at. You get a foul shot, first one goes down, you get a rim run dunk, and Florida's guards looking up the floor. But I think that's going to be so important tonight, to see a not set Houston defense because of how good they are in the half court, how good they are at scheming against the best players on your team. Florida has got to take advantage when opportunities present themselves, but you can't run if you don't defensive rebound. That's the biggest key of the game.
Condon at the line for his second attempt. This one good as well. And we're tied again at 4, 2.5 into this one. And we've already seen 2 offensive rebounds for Houston. We've already seen a couple of rim runs and a couple of breaks for the fast-breaking Gators. Uzan will hold it at the Final Four logo at half court. Pushes the pass to Cryer on the right wing. Around to Roberts' screen. Gets it back to Roberts. Roberts fakes the give. Gets into the paint. Running left-hand hook won't go. Rebound. Pinballs around. Roberts had a hand on it, but it's plucked by Will Richard of Florida. Now Clayton Jr. will push it back over to Richard. Richard now backing out, lobbing down low. Chinyelu and Tugler got tangled up in the right block, and that'll be a foul on JoJo Tugler, his first. teams second. And let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network, your home for the national championships.
Hi, everybody. Christopher Russo, Mad Dog Sports Radio, live all day during the NCAA tournament. That's until 2 a.m. Eastern. React to all the action at AAA Mad Dog 6 on Channel 82.
On the inbound, Martin running it to the rim, trying to jam it home. It got caught on the right side of the rim, and then the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to the Houston Cougars.
Boy, major props to the courage of Elijah Martin, because if you're going to take on Tugler and you're going to take on Roberts, you better go to dunk it. Tugler meets him at the summit there. Martin gets caught on the rim, and the second time, no different. Houston's defense getting it done inside.
And now running it up the floor on a bounce to Tugler, rolling to the rim, and he lays it in with the left hand. A 6-4 lead for the Houston Cougars.
Houston getting a lot of shots in the paint, 4 or 5 shots, either post-ups or dribble drives already.
Florida going to the rim, and Chinyelu brings it down, and now Chinyelu and Tugler collide. Both hit the deck hard, and that is a massive pileup in the middle of the freeway. Chinyelu at 260 pounds, Tugler at 230 pounds, almost 500 pounds, a quarter ton of human flesh colliding in the paint.
PJ, we've seen Houston with some breakdowns that are very uncharacteristic. Not getting back in transition, and then the help side there on that pick and roll is nowhere to be found.
No, twice Condon beat him down the floor, but I'm surprised the shot charts for both teams, everything's inside, either post-ups or off the dribble penetration.
Uzan will bring it up for Houston in the right-hand offensive zone, sends it up top to Javier Francis just off the bench. Francis, the 6'8 senior, he'll drive, gets past Handlogged, and his dunk won't go. Offensive rebound, Roberts, his try is short. Tip try underneath by Francis, it won't go. And the rebound pinballs out to Clayton, who loses the dribble, and it's picked up by Cryer. Cryer will stop 3 on the right wing. That's off the heel, no. Rebound batted out again by Roberts, another chance. Sharp 3, top of the key, way off the mark, no good. Rebound in the corner for Will Richard. Oh, everybody's a little tight tonight. Long pass ahead. Handlogged and running the floor. Outpacing everyone, and he lays it up at the rim, and Florida leads 8-6.
That's the third time, Kevin, where we've seen the Houston defense just not get back. Credit the Florida guards. They are looking up the floor, but these bigs for the Gators doing their job by running.
Sharp pivots, turnaround 2 is good in the right corner, and that ties this game at 8.
That's the toughest shot that Emmanuel Sharp has had all night long. Has had some open looks, but they're just off the bounce, getting to his dribble, getting to the jumper from 15 feet and drilling it.
Clayton almost lost the handle on it, then tried to throw it into the corner to Elijah Martin, and it goes out of bounds, a turnover, and feels like both of these teams need to just take a deep breath right now. 15:05 remaining in this first half, and a score of 8-8 from the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network. This is the Men's Basketball National Championship.
What's up, basketball fans? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. It's the National Championship. The Florida Gators and the Houston Cougars match up. 2 number 1 seeds vying for the national title at the Alamodome in San Antonio, Texas. It's going to be a great, great game. Both teams with surprising wins in the Final Four. We appreciate you being here. Please take a second, hit that like button down below, and share this link out so that we can get more basketball fans here in the chat to cheer on your favorite team. I'm going for the Gators. I'm a big Gators fan and have been for a very, very long time. Let's go do it again, Gators fans. We'll see you back in the chat.
We proudly use Sherwin-Williams paint.
Feels like home. This season, it's not just madness on the hardwood, but outdoors in the yard too. No matter the challenge, Ego Outdoor Power Equipment delivers incredible power and performance, from yard work essentials like mowers, blowers, chainsaws, and trimmers to innovations such as portable power stations and cordless pressure washers. You could use the same battery to power over 90 tools. That's why Ego has over 200,000 5-star reviews and counting. Check out the winning lineup at egopowerplus.com.
Meanwhile at Xfinity. Okay, huddle up. Do you realize how many fans stream basketball? It's madness.
But real fans stream with Xfinity Internet.
Totally. We've engineered a super fast connection.
With reduced buffering and low lag.
'Cause making streaming better is what we do!
Josh?
Yeah!
Can we let go now? It's really not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary. Not guaranteed.
Kevin Kugler, Robbie Hummel, and PJ Carlissimo here at our Grainger courtside seats in San Antonio. For the ones who get it done, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade products for all industries, fast delivery, and free technical support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. 4 offensive rebounds for Houston, coupled that with 2 Florida turnovers, and the Cougars have taken 13 shots to the Gators 7. Houston started 3 of 13 on Saturday, but 4 of 13 from the floor tonight.
Yeah, and Todd Go, both coaches have a lot of things to talk about. It says 4 offensive rebounds, Kev. I don't know how they're counting. There's 6 or 7 that I saw. That's how they have 13 field goal attempts to 7. But I'll tell you, 2 turnovers, that hurts Florida right away. Not a good sign for Florida. And it's Walter Clayton Jr., the only Achilles so far. He came into this with 16 turnovers in the first 5 games. He's got 2 already. Hasn't played well. He's played great, so I'll cut him some slack. He does have 3 assists to go with the 2 turnovers.
CJ, I think the same guy who's doing the math on the 0 fast break points for Florida is doing the offensive rebounds as well.
Exactly.
They've given them 0, and I can think of 6 that are pretty heavily fast break.
Thank you.
Usain will sand it over to Cryer. Houston with a basketball feeding to Francis, and Francis elevates and decimates with one hand. 10-8. Houston, a thunderous dunk from Javier Francis. And Longden over to the right-hand side. Now we'll work with the Clayton. Clayton, wrap-around pass inside. Hand Longden drops it, gets it back into the corner to Martin. Martin over to Thomas Houck, off the bench for 3. Grazes the left side of the rim, and Francis, who just had that monster jam, gets the rebound. Here's Emmanuel Sharp up the floor, steps into a 3. That won't go. He went down, thought he was trying to get a foul called, didn't get the whistle, and Denzel Aberdeen off the Florida bench snares the board. Now Clayton will jump from the logo for 3. It's rebounded inside by Houck, who takes it up for a 2-hand stuff. I have no idea where Walter Clayton was shooting from the eye of Final Four.
I don't know why he's taking these shots. He's been so good at scoring the ball at a high value, but he's taken pretty good shots for the most part. Everything he's taken so far has been a heat check from the first possession of the game.
Ron Roberts trying to go to work against Thomas Houck. Gets into the paint, turns left, turns right, back left. Left-hand hook won't go. Rebound out of bounds off the hands of Longden, who stands up and starts to say, I'd like to review it. You can't review it, but Doug Sermons is coming over to talk to Ron Groover about this. Are they going to reverse that call? They are. It's going to be Florida ball.
They're showing the replays of that Javier Francis dunk. It happens. It's out of that open side pick and roll where you've got to have the strong side low man there to take him on. But if you don't meet these athletic bigs outside that restricted area, good luck. He just put him on a poster right there. And there have been breakdowns in that action, PJ, on both sides for both teams.
Just picture a runway. Tommy Houck didn't get there in time. The plane had already taken off. And he landed right on his head.
Aberdeen will bring it up to Houck, who feeds it to Longden at the top of the key. Working it around to Clayton. Clayton weaving, throws the ball over his shoulder to Aberdeen on the left wing. Now up top to Houck, who fakes the 3. Trying to drive past Tugler. The ball tipped out of his hands, went off the foot of Francis as he was in the air, and it ends up with Milos Usain. Houston with the basketball, moving into the right-hand offensive zone. It's L.J. Cryer curling around the screen, launching a 3, top of the key, an air ball out of bounds. Neither team has any idea about a 3, and now they just throw it in from half court, and it goes in. It was Cryer who heaved it from half court, but officially the 2 teams are 0 for 10.
There's some real nerves out here because there have been some good shots that have been scud missiles, and I've been amazed. Walter Clayton has not looked this out of sorts so far in any of these NCAA tournament games. Shot selections, loose with the ball, really surprising to see him come out like this.
100% correct. And there's no jump shots that going down. Robbie, you got to put sneaks on, man.
I can shoot. I can't guard a rebound or do anything else.
It's all in the paint so far.
Here's Clayton at the top of the key. Back it goes to Houck and over to Clayton again. Clayton leaving with Tugler defending. Clayton now calling out for a screen from Condon. Feeds it over to Houck. Back to Clayton again, a logo 3. This dies off the back iron, and the rebound is pulled down by Francis. Not one of his 3 3-point attempts have come from anywhere inside the logo at half court. Uzan dribbling middle of the floor, working against Hout. Looking, goes back to the right and Cryer. Cryer, over it goes to Uzan. Uzan looking, weaving, dodging, gets inside, floats it up, and that one drops from 8 feet. Just a little shot put that slithered in, and it's 12-10 Houston.
I love the rhythm that Milos Uzan plays with. That crossover, you know how much he loves that move. Just rocks you to sleep, gets to his floater, big-time move. A guy's been a little bit up and down with his scoring in the tournament.
Condon running into Arsenault. Terrence Arsenault off the Houston bench, gets the feet inside and a travel. Condon caught it on the left block, and as he tried to get rid of it from that left block, he took an extra step, and it's a Florida turnover.
But he takes an extra step because L.J. Cryer is where he's supposed to be. Is that weak side low man. He's coming over. He sees the action the entire time, and because he's where he's in that right spot, he forces that turnover.
Early help gets the job done.
Yes.
There's been late help by both teams, and that's why the bigs are kind of having their way inside. We've seen a bunch of dunks already because the rotations have been too slow.
Uzan will walk it across the half-court line, moving to the right-hand offensive zone around a screen from JoJo Tugler. Feeds Tugler now at the top against Chinyelu. Arsenault around the Tugler screen. 11 to shoot. Driving on Clayton. Lost the dribble behind his back. Gets it back on the left-hand side. 6 to shoot. Arsenault weaving back up top. He goes. Finds Malik Wilson. Wilson with 2 to shoot. Has to launch a contested 3. And that's caught off the miss by Alex Condon of Florida. Quickly up the floor, they work it to Richard. Richard inside, his pass to Chinyelu, saved by Arsenault on the baseline, flips it ahead, another Florida turnover, and Houston will bring it up.
It's an incredible fight, though, from Uzan, taking on Chinyelu and giving up some real size.
Skips to Arsenault, left wing 3, won't go, rebound loose, and it's Clayton who picks it up. Houston 0 of 7 from 3, Florida 0 for 5 from 3. Clayton will bring it over to the right-hand side, flips it over his left shoulder to Condon. Condon dribbling from the left wing, over to Aberdeen on the right wing. Aberdeen looking for somewhere to go against Arsenault. Hesitates, now drives to the free throw line. Pull-up jumper from there, way off the mark. Rebound by Joanne Roberts.
We're going to test the backboards because they're going to be broken with some of these shots.
Next jump shot that goes in, that team's going to win the game.
Boy, we haven't had one yet. Uzan around a screen from Roberts. He's 0 for 4 is Roberts. He'll put it on the deck, trying to drive against Condon. Leaning in with the left hand, and he gets it to drop. And a 14-10 lead for Houston. Largest lead of the night. Aberdeen doubled in the left block. Ball pops free. He'll track it down on the left wing. 20 to shoot as he sends it to Condon. Now Clayton. Ball knocked out of his hands, and a foul on Tugler. That'll be 2 on JoJo Tugler. That's a big second foul on the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year at the 10-18 mark in the first half. There's a break in the action paid for by NHTSA. Using your phone while you're driving could kill someone. Put the phone away or pay. 14-10 Houston. You're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind zero-turn and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow. Available at participating dealers.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you.
I'm talking to you, one of the thousands of people that's hanging out with us here in the chat for the Final Four. We're running our SickKids Hospital Bracket Mania campaign where we're raising money for a local hospital in Toronto, which is doing amazing, amazing work and just celebrated a huge anniversary. 150 years for SickKids Hospital.
Thanks for chatting it up and enjoying this March Madness live hangout with us. So why not make it official? Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a live game. We're on a mission to hit 100,000 insiders, and you can help us grow this amazing community of sports fans making a difference. Join the conversation, keep it classy, and we'll see you in the chat. Good luck to your team and your bracket.
We really appreciate you being here. Thanks for turning on that bell. We'll see you back in the chat.
Your post jumps to the top of the page for relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, with Indeed sponsored jobs, there are no monthly subscriptions, and you only pay for results. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Get 5 quarts of O'Reilly Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $29.99. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Later on, we'll select the smart coaching move of the game, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Two teams are a combined 0 for 12 from 3. Florida has turned it over 5 times, but Houston only 2 points off those 5 turnovers. And we're at the 10-18 mark. Florida has 10 points on the board. They had 23 on the board at this point on Saturday.
Well, but you look at the shot diet. I mean, 21-12 field goal advantage for Houston. That's a big deal. The JoJo Tugler second foul there is massive. Now, he's a guy that does foul a lot. Second in the Big 12 in personal fouls per game. We saw how impactful that was, Kevin, in Indianapolis. He had to go to the bench. Braden Smith got going. You're talking about help defense, pick and roll defense, rim protection, all that sitting next to Kelvin Sampson.
Speaking of Kelvin Sampson, PJ, what did he have to say to Tracy Wolfson?
Tracy asked him, he said, "You haven't made it 3 yet." And he goes, "Neither have they." He goes, "It's about nerves. This is the NCAA championship. You got a lot of players whose nerves are very, very tight right now." Walter Clayton Jr., I can't believe he has been out to lunch. I think someone else was wearing his uniform earlier.
He's not on the floor right now. They're going to give him a moment to compose himself off his timeout. And Aberdeen has it tipped and taken away by Malik Wilson running to the rim. He'll lay it in for 2. And Houston with a 16-10 lead over Florida. Another turnover for Florida, their 6th of this first half.
But you can't have the turnovers for touchdowns. Heck of a play, though, by Malik Wilson. He's a good rebounder. He's an active defender, and that's how he can impact this game.
Aberdeen dribbling near the logo at half court. He'll bring it over to the right wing, up top to Chinyelu. One dribble to the left, now a second. Hands it off to Martin. Elijah Martin back to Condon, deep 3 right wing. That's off the heel, no good. Rebound loose on the floor. Chinyelu trying to pluck it, now trying to take it back up. Instead turns it into the corner to Richard. Richard a contested 3 and it falls. We actually have a made 3 in the national championship game. An 0 for 14 combined start.
Well, big shot for Will Richard. He's been quiet these last 2, but what a rebound from Chinyelu. You've got 4 Cougars down there, and he comes away with that second chance.
Here's Cryer, right baseline, will feed it into the paint to Francis. Javier Francis against Chinyelu, a little up and under move, and goes down the left side of the lane to lay it in. 18-13, Houston by 5, coming up on 9 to play first half.
That's a heck of a shoulder shimmy to that left shoulder to get back to the left hand. He lost his defender.
Here's Richard, 3 top of the key. He's starting to feel it. Back-to-back triples for Will Richard, who is held to just 7 points in the win over Auburn on 1 for 6 shooting. But Richard's got back-to-back 3s.
Well, he was 0 for his last 5 over the last 2 games from the 3-point line, but 2 pretty tough shots. Will Richard stepping up when the Florida Gators need him.
Xavier Francis left block spinning on Chinyelu, forces it over him again and banks it home off the glass.
The bigs are loving this. No double teams. I'll just take my time, work on my little back-to-the-basket moves.
There's Condon. He'll hand it off. Martin almost lost that one, able to pull it in. Condon now left block. Working against Roberts, dribbling awkwardly across the lane. He lost the handle on it, saved by Aberdeen.
Oh, goodness. Is the ball too inflated? It's been a weird game for that.
It was almost a double dribble, and now Condon turns it over. A travel as he got to the free throw line. There are moments in this game that it looks like neither of these teams has seen the sport before.
Well, for Alice Condon, it's been a bit baffling because that's a guy that's 3rd-team All-SEC in the regular season, averaged 10 and 7, also almost 2.5 assists per game, but he just has not looked like himself here in San Antonio.
Robbie, it's the 2nd time he's had the ball on a short roll where he was in position to make a pass and he shuffled his feet.
Here's Cryer, turnover, back it goes to the Gators. Richard on the drive to the rim. His shot is blocked away and scooped up by Francis. Up ahead to Cryer. Feeds it back to Sharp. Bodies on the floor. Sharp goes up, hand locked and knocks it out of bounds. Sharp tips it as he tried to secure it. It'll belong to the Gators, and a timeout on the floor.
Boy, what a defensive sequence for both teams. You get Malik Wilson. He erases a shot that Florida thinks is a surefire layup. You come back the other way, not so easy at the rim. Emmanuel Sharp meeting that same fate. Both these defenses in transition, getting it done with some blocks.
20-16 Houston, 7:42 to play first half. You're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for...
What's up, Insiders? How we doing this evening? The National Championship is live. The Florida Gators and the Houston Cougars, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Man, the chat is fired up. Hey, look, there's TSI Allison, the love of my life. Love you, babe. I don't know if she's going to hear me or not. HJ in the house, Brandon, VFL, Rocky Top. Good to see you, Rocky Top. Dangerous. I like it. And yes, the refs are letting them play. Will Richards stepping up for the Gators to keep them in this one. Man, I got to say, the Gators are looking really ugly right now. Clayton is struggling. He's kind of out taking a nap. He forgot that this was the national championship game or something. But the rest of his team is holding it down and taking care of those turnovers. Already 6-0 turnovers. That's not good for the Gators, but the fact that they're only down by a couple points because of those two big Will Richard threes is huge. Now let's get back to the basketball. Go Gators, go. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, please hit that link that is pinned in the chat and take a look at our Bracket Mania campaign for SickKids Hospital in Toronto. We are trying to raise a bunch of money for them, and if you are able, please donate. A couple bucks. If every single person out of the 2,324 in the chat donated $1, it'd be $2,000. We'd be almost double what we've already raised so far, as we've raised $3,000 up to now. We'll see you back in the chat. Good luck to your team. Thanks for hitting that like button and sharing this link out as well. Go Gators.
20-16 Houston with the lead. 7:42 remaining in the opening half. Let's check some of the numbers. Sponsored by GoodRx. Check GoodRx for simple, smart savings on weight loss medications and other prescriptions at GoodRx.com. Neither team is good shooting right now. Florida 37.5% and 2 for 8 from 3. Houston 42% shooting, but 0 for 7 from three-point land. Houston being out-rebounded 13-11 by Florida. Points off turnovers, 4-0 in favor of Houston, despite 7 Gator turnovers. They've not really cashed, and Houston leading 12-8 points in the paint early here with 7:42 to play in this first half. It'll be Florida basketball. Gators will inbound to our right. They move from the right to the left as we see it courtside in an electric Alamodome in San Antonio. This crowd is popping tonight as Clayton's back on the floor for the Gators. He'll bring it up. And a rough start for Walter Clayton Jr. See if he can get going after a moment on the bench. And Logden stands top of the key, feeds it through defense to Elijah Martin on a diagonal to the rim, and he lays it in.
It's Elijah Martin's first points. I was going to say, Florida's hanging in, and Clayton or Martin hadn't scored.
And that was a big-time cut. You blow up the dribble handoff, but Elijah Martin knows it's not over. You just saw that to the rim. Really good pass there by Hanlogton.
Here's Roberts spinning to the basket as he goes down the right side of the lane, draws the contact and the foul on Hauk. It'll be his first personal foul and the first team foul on the Gators. 2 shots coming for a man whose 2 free throws on Saturday are a big reason why the Cougars are in this position to play for their first national championship. Roberts, first free throw attempt is good. He's the 4th player in Houston history to have 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds in his career. The company he's keeping is elite. Greg Anderson, Elvin Hayes, and Hakeem Olajuwon. I mean, that's a good neighborhood to live in if you're Jawan Roberts. Second free throw rattles off no good. He's happier that he missed here than on Saturday night as Clayton will bring it up the floor for the Gators, trailing by 3. Alco working up to Hanlogden. The handoff now to Will Richard. Swing around to Hauk, and back it comes to Martin. Martin at the top of the key. Tugler on the bench with 2 fouls. The defensive player of the year for Houston. Clayton with 8 to shoot. With Hand logged in at the top of the key, he'll send it over to Richard in the right wing. 4 to shoot. Richard's going to have to go to work. Dumps it down low. 1 to shoot. They are not going to get this shot off, or are they? No, it's a shot clock violation. They rolled it in, but an extra pass to Hauk cost them the chance to get a shot up in time.
That's an incredible defensive possession there for the Houston Cougars. L.J. Cryer gets switched on to Thomas Hauk. He really fought him down there, but the rest of the Houston defense making sure they're giving help, making sure they're giving ball pressure, and you get a 35-second shot clock violation.
Here's Cryer on the weave to the left-hand side. Back it goes to Sharp. He'll try a 3. It's way off again. 0 for 8 from 3 is Houston. Clayton now up the floor. They're going to give them just 30 on the shot clock, Robbie. Here's Clayton underneath. It goes. The tip into the corner to Richard. That 3 will fall again. Will Richard with another triple. He's got all 3 made 3s in this game, and we're tied at 21.
Well, somebody else had to step up, especially with Clayton Jr. struggling, and that person has been Will Richard. He's provided the offensive spark. He's got it going from downtown.
And off now to L.J. Cryer. Cryer dribbling middle of the floor, working around the screen from Francis. He'll launch a 3 top of the key, and it's good. It drops down softly into the twine. 24-21 Houston. First made 3 of the night for the Cougars. Here's Clayton. Double comes, gets off to Hauk. Hauk will drive, dumps it to Hand logged. His shot blocked right out of his hands by Francis. Sharp, the lob to the rim, and a 2-hand flush. Malik Wilson, the alley-oop. 26-21 Houston. Richard quickly down the floor, spinning through 2 defenders, and a tie-up is called. Possession arrow keeps it with Florida. 2 elite defensive plays inside for Houston, and a 5-point lead for the Cougars.
Well, that's quite the sequence there for the Houston defense. I didn't think Javier Francis took a good angle there on the Hauk pick and pop. You let him drive, but he stays in the play. You make him make one more pass. He gets the block. It's off to the races. Malik Wilson has had a big part of this Houston offense here in the first half. Running the floor, throw it up to him. Houston's defense swarming again. The pace on that little sequence there, high-level stuff.
Clayton off the inbound, a fadeaway jumper in the corner, way off again and well short. Rebound Houston. Cryer weaving through the defense, kicks it into the right corner. Wilson steps left around the flying defender. He banks home a 3 in the right corner. Kind of shook his head at the crowd as if to say, why not? 29-21, an 8-0 Houston run. They've hit 7 of their last 9 from the floor. Condon will hand it off, and another turnover, a travel by Condon. That's his 3rd bobble that resulted in a turnover.
How about Malik Wilson, though, with 7 points? He's a 35% three-point shooter, but very low volume. Kind of gives us the Jordan shrug from 92. But what an opportunity for him to come out here. It's been his defense. It's been his offense. Malik Wilson having a major impact for Houston.
And a timeout by Florida. 29-21 Houston. 4:46 to play. First half. You're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
If you are
Cheers, basketball fans. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight for the national championship game. Who will cut down the nets here in San Antonio to be crowned the 2025 national champions? Please let us know. It's that time of the show. Where are you watching from? Let us know in the chat. Put out your city and state in the United States, city and province in Canada, or your country and flag emoji from all over the world. Speaking of which, you see that map up in the top corner? Check the link that you see coming through the chat, or it's pinned and in the description. Go show us where you're watching from and put your location on our map. As you can see, we've got a lot of places already covered. We're at 978 total page views. Let's get that 1,000th page view during the national championship. Thank you for checking out our website. Thank you for letting us know where you're watching from. And most importantly, thank you for helping us support SickKids Hospital in Toronto just by being here and hanging out with us in our Bracket Mania campaign. Good luck to your team, good luck to your bracket, and let's go Gators!
30 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. Because Hyundai is always working to ensure the road doesn't... IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
All about the team, all about playing the right way and committing to playing the right way every day and really buying into what Coach Donovan wanted us to do. And that's what we were able to do.
UConn did it last year back-to-back. I remember, I don't know if you remember, I was with you guys when we went to Niagara Falls in between 06 and 07. And the fact that you all came back, why were you all so committed to do it a second time in that era?
Man, it's such a special time for us, and I felt like we were enjoying playing with each other. We understood what was in front of us, but we wanted to take advantage of the now. And we all understood that was kind of like our last opportunity to do that. So Joakim made the commitment, Corey did, and then I had to follow along and do it as well. And it was just another great year for us.
So Todd Golden is trying to win national championship for Florida, first time since Billy did it with you guys in 06-07. What's impressed you the most about this Florida Gator team, which has been able to come back multiple times in the last couple games?
Yeah, just resilient group. They always, like you said, they always find a way. They're more of a second half team, and they really, Clayton leads them, but everybody else rallies around him, and they play together. That's always good to see.
And Billy Donovan in the Hall of Fame, what has that meant to you?
Man, that's so special. I'm so happy for Coach. Deserves it. Just a great player, great person, unbelievable, great mentor and leader for us. So I'm just very, very proud of Coach Donovan.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
All right, Houston with the basketball, a 29-21 advantage. Teams starting to get a little more comfortable from behind the arc. Florida's hit 3 of their last 4. Houston, their last 2 from inside. Uzan goes up, lost the handle on the ball, was tipped out of his hands, misses a jumper. Arsenault with the offensive rebound, but it's ripped away from him by Condon. Boy, strong by Condon inside to take it away for Florida.
And Florida's got to be aware with Arsenault. Even though he's a guard, he's going to crash the offensive glass. Have to check him out.
There's Martin standing just on the edge of the Final Four logo at half court. Richard will whip it down low to Condon on the left block, who banks it home for 2. 6-point ball game. Houston up top.
Yeah, it's been a problem. Florida's bigs have not finished inside. They've had the ball in some advantage situations and haven't finished. They've gotten shots blocked.
Malik Wilson now will start it up over to the left-hand side, and Cryer harassed by Will Richard on the perimeter, spins away, picked up by Chinyalu on the switch. He'll back it out to Wilson. Wilson a deep 3, top of the key. That's off the heel, no good. Long rebound out of bounds past Todd Golden, who claps his hands as we get to the under 4 media timeout.
Robbie, how about the bench points? 13-4 in favor of Houston. Javier Francis 6, Malik Wilson 7. Ooh. Their bench has really been huge for Kelvin.
And we thought it would be Cryer, we thought it would be Clayton, but it's been the other guys in this game, Kevin, who have impacted the scoring.
A timeout on the floor with the score, Houston 29, Florida 23. You're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new rotors.
When you buy 2 Duralast rotors during our spring sale, you get Duralast brake pads free.
Free?
With the rotors.
Well, that's great. What if I need extra stopping power?
You can upgrade to Duralast Gold pads.
Hey, Insiders! First and foremost, Mike and Allison want to thank you for being part of this amazing community. With March Madness in full swing, we need your help. The TSI Bracket Mania campaign is raising money for SickKids Hospital in Toronto through the Final Four. A portion of the proceeds from every single game goes directly to SickKids. Click the pinned link in the chat or the description to donate. Every bit helps. Can't donate? No problem. Just share the campaign with your friends or on social media to make a huge impact. This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Clink the link, and holy Mackinac, let's help heal the future.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Download the all-new Westwood One Sports app and catch all of our NCAA championship broadcasts, including the Frozen Four this Thursday and Saturday, anytime, anywhere. And be sure to keep the app on your mobile device year-round as we bring you primetime NFL action next fall for free. Get the Westwood One Sports app today for iOS and Android. If we could only get Robbie Hummel to record just inspirational messages for you over the summer that would just play on the Westwood One Sports app.
That would be lovely. I'll think about it. I'll consider that.
You should do that for radio dollars. That would be a really good thing. 3:41 to go in this.
Maybe Aaron Cummins, our producer, will put his salary up for that. I'd appreciate that.
No, I said for radio dollars.
No,
you don't want that. 29-23. Yeah, Houston by 6 with 3:41 to go. 9 turnovers for Florida, 2 for Houston, but just a 6-point game. And if you're Florida, you feel pretty good turning it over 9 times and within 6 points.
You'll feel a lot better if they do something this last 3.5 minutes.
Here's Condon in the left block going to work against Roberts. Condon turns. Roberts meets him in the air and swats it away. The ball tipped out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Florida. Goodness, what a challenge by Roberts.
Now, Condon is trying to back down Jawan Roberts right there, and he's just not moving him. He goes up for that right jump hook. Jawan Roberts smothers the basketball. That's elite one-on-one defense.
Inbound right baseline. Clayton finds Richard. 15-foot jumper is good. And Will Richard has been the revelation. He's got 11 for Florida. They're back within 4.
Well, he has honestly been the offense. With Walter Clayton not scoring, they've needed somebody else to step up. Will Richard has been that guy.
Clayton and Martin are a combined 1 for 8 from the floor. Richard with 11 and the Gators within 4 despite 9 first-half turnovers.
They're really letting them play inside. Jawan Roberts thinking he's getting fouled.
He had Condon as a backpack over there. Now to the left side, it's Uzan with 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot. Uzan contested 3 off the right side iron, no good, and Condon the rebound for Florida. Condon will hand it off to Clayton. He'll bring it up with 2:40 to play in this opening half. Florida down 4. Clayton sends it over to Condon, who feeds it into the paint. Chinyelu, left-hand shot won't go. Rebound cleared out by Francis.
The bigs are struggling to finish. 5 block shots already, and they've been against the Florida bigs.
Wilson gets to the free throw line, and a dart from the free throw line pinballs out to Condon. Outlet to Clayton in the open floor. Clayton on the move. Feeds it to Condon trailing, who will stand on the right-hand wing and wait for help. Gets it from Richard, goes right back to Condon, swarmed in the post. The double team comes, wraps it out of there to Martin for 3 on the left wing. Halfway down, it pops up, and out of nowhere comes Malik Wilson for the one-handed rebound.
But honestly, Florida did some very positive things there. 2 on the ball, you slip right out, you get a good look for Elijah Martin on the weak side. You will take that type of shot if you're Todd Golden.
1:50 to go. Cougars have missed their last 4 shots. Can they find some offense again? They were in a good rhythm for a moment. Uzan over on the left-hand wing. He's got Richard on his right hip. Jab steps over to the right side, and Cryer exploding to the left elbow. Jumper from there is good, and Cryer drops that one down to stretch the Houston lead to 6. Clayton will walk this one up for Florida. Chinyelu trailing, underhands it to the left side, and Richard stops, left 3, grazes the front of the iron, no good, and out of bounds, caught by our referee Doug Sermons, who then points Houston's way, and it'll be the Cougars' ball. 1:21 to go in this first half.
It hasn't been a good half for Florida, and this is a bad finish so far. It would be good for Walter Clayton to see something go down before they go in, but Houston has dominated, and it's clearly at their pace.
But the shocking thing, PJ, is for all of that being said, it still is only a 6-point game.
Absolutely.
Cryer waving his offense around, working against Richard. Looks for a screen, gives it off to Roberts. Roberts at the free throw line, exploding against Houck down the left side of the lane. The shot won't go. Looked like it was a goaltend. It was not. Clayton will push it up the floor. Richard step back 3 left wing. Oh, he got it in transition. What looked like a 2 for Houston turns into a 3 for Florida on the other end, and it's 31-28 Cougars.
Well, I want to see a replay because it looked like it was either Hauck or Hanlockton were in there. It looked like they knocked it off the rim. How about Will Richard, though, the leader in fast break points per game in the SEC, runs that wing, finds an open look, and he has been fantastic in the first half.
Half of the Florida points belong to Will Richard. 31-28. Houston by 3. You're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship as Houston calls a timeout on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese, I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Robinhood Gold gets you a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions. The new gold standard is here. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. 31-28 Houston. I believe you were eavesdropping with Gene Steratore a moment ago on that goaltend or no goaltend.
Letter of the law, goaltend, because the ball was still within the cylinder. Basketball philosophy, it was going away. It was not going to go in. But letter of the law, it was goaltend.
In Europe, that'd be a heck of a play.
Exactly right.
You would just swipe that thing off the rim, but that's not the rule here.
Clearly fallen off, but clearly within the cylinder at the same time.
When we get the European Collegiate Championships, you'll have them on the Westwood One Sports app.
Can't wait for that.
Milos Uzan dribbling middle of the floor for Houston. 15 to shoot, about a 12-second difference between game and shot clock. Francis over on the left wing will give it off now to Cryer. Cryer late to shoot. Martin all over him, steps to the left, shoots a 3, way off the mark, no good. Caught by Uzan, didn't touch rim, has to launch quickly, and an airball 3 out of bounds. It'll belong to Florida for the final shot with 12 seconds to play first half.
Florida has a chance to tie this game going into halftime.
With the way this has gone, the turnovers, it's hard to believe. Houston, though, 2 for 14 after they made 10 threes against Duke.
What a Clayton logo one.
Clayton will bring it back over to Richard. Richard looking for a 3, top of the key. It bounces off the back iron and falls off no good. Halftime has arrived, and Houston leads 31-28 over the Florida Gators. A 3-point game despite some charitably stated choppy basketball in that first half.
You could have made a lot of money if you said, hey, I think Walter Clayton's going to score 0 in the first half. Now, he has been dynamite in second halves. All it takes is 1, but so far, Houston doing a good job of keeping him in check.
Totally Houston's pace, 9 Florida turnovers. Very, very fortunate to be within 3.
There's a timeout, and we have reached halftime, 31-28 here in San Antonio. Just ahead, the halftime report with Jason Horowitz and Nick Baugh. Coming up from the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network, this is the Men's Basketball National Championship.
There's nothing more defeating than a bracket busted during the first few rounds. Clearly, you didn't have the right stats and data to make the right pick. Don't make the same mistake with hiring for your small business. Find top-tier talent in the right place with LinkedIn. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/.
The tournament is here. March Madness is here. The craziness is here. Don't forget, hit that like button down below and share this link out so we can get more basketball fans here in the chat, hanging out with us, cheering on your favorite team.
Clayton steals it and lays it in. Clayton a good look. Hit 6.
Check out our new website, www.torontosportsinsider.com, and check out the link that is in the description as well as in the chat that shows where all of the live viewers are watching from. Are you an insider yet? Have you hit that subscribe button? I bet you have now. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for checking out our Bracket Mania campaign. A lot more coming up soon.
this is on foot. What a great scene this is.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Thanks for chatting it up and enjoying this March Madness live hangout with us.
Cheers, Insiders! What a game we have here. It has been a very interesting game so far. Houston just handling business, but they just can't fight off these Gators. The Gators are right there, only down 3 at the half. It's a miracle how the Florida Gators are only down 3. Thank you for taking care of those bots. Who was that? Carmen in the chat, tearing it up. Go, Carmen, go! Everybody say thank you to the mods. You guys are amazing. Another big thank you to Leafs Jelly HD. If you're on YouTube, which you are, go check out Leafs Jelly HD on YouTube. All of these awesome edits that you see here are done by Jelly. Great work, sir. Thank you. Can't wait for the playoff pulse. It's going to be huge. The next campaign that we'll be running here on Toronto Sports Insider. Big shout out to all of you here in the chat as well. Another shout out, the last shout out here for at least for halftime. Stack Art Code on Fiverr, my man, the best graphic designer on Fiverr. Thank you for your work in this Bracket Mania campaign. Unbelievable job. These graphics that you see here are new 100K graphics that we'll be launching very, very shortly. It's all from Stack. If you want graphic design work done, and you want the best quality work on the internet, that's what Stack prides himself in, is the highest quality work and the attention to detail. And you can see it here with our graphics on Toronto Sports Insider. So thank you, Stack. Cheers to all of you here in the chat. We'll see you back in there. A big second half is coming up. It's going to be a really good second half. I just want to read this line really quick. Clayton Jr., 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. 2 rebounds, 5 assists. He's got a goose egg right now, and the Gators are down 3. Richard, keeping them in the game, 14 points off of 4 for 6 shooting from behind the arc. Kids on fire. Be real interesting to see how the rest of this game goes, but I bet you it's going to be close. Go Leafs, go. Go Raptors, go. Go TFC, go. Go Blue Jays, go. Go Argos, go. Hey, the Blue Jays are live right now. Hey, 6-2 final. Game's over. We're going to let Blue Jays talk run for a few minutes, and then we're going to send all the Blue Jays and Red Sox viewers right over here to hang out with us for the second half. We'll see you back in there. Go refill those cocktails, Toronto. Go refill those cocktails, the rest of the world. We the North. We're coming in the second half, and hopefully the Gators can get the W tonight. Rico, Mr. Know-It-All, Mate Milinkovic, Albert C. Jenny Jew Productions, maybe? Sorry if I'm butchering the name there. The Lucky Minute, Stefan, my man, Steph. Good to see you, dude. Go Jays, go. Let's kick it back here to the halftime show. Make sure you go refill those drinks. Big second half coming up. We'll see you back in the chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Really, truly appreciate it.
/Men's Final Four. Every day when we're on the road, people around us endanger themselves and others by looking at their phones while driving. There's the sneak-a-peeker, who darts their eyes between the road and their texts. Or the nightlighter, who illuminates their car after dark. Do any of these sound familiar? If that's you, reconsider your behavior before you find yourself becoming the fender benderer, the got-a-ticketer, or worst of all, the driver who killed someone. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Back with you inside the Alamodome, 31-28, Houston leading Florida at the half. It's time now for the plays of the tournament, sponsored by Old Spice. Nick, I know you've wanted to say this with me all tournament. Come on, in unison.
Ready?
Sinking places beyond your pits. Old Spice has you covered with total body deodorant, 24/7 freshness from pits to toes with daily use.
They have to go 94 feet. Simpson will inbound under his own basket. Pinedo pressures the ball. He throws a baseball right-hand pass. Arcing toward the far free throw line. It's loose under the basket. Laid up and in by Knox. 7/10 of a second to go. Amar Knox gives Alabama State the lead. 70-68.
Welcome to March. Uzan ready. Looking. Uzan holds it in his hip. Fires it left side. Bounce back to Uzan to the rim. He lays it in. 62-60. 8/10 of a second remaining in this one.
Played the lob into Hauk above the left elbow. Hauk back door to Clayton. Makes the catch inside. Has to dribble out of trouble in the paint. Backs up. Turns. Fires a three from the top. It's good. He did it again. Clayton's got 28. Florida leads by 1. What a shot by Walter Clayton.
Alabama's got 94 points with 7:48 left to play. Sears nails a three. There's a new NCAA record for three-pointers made by a team in the tournament. 22 of them for Alabama. He has 9. They've made their last 6 in a row.
Gillespie looking to throw it in. Gets it up top to Queen. Dribbling left. Big step down the lane. Runner for the win. Banked it in. He banked it in. He banked it in. And Maryland has won. Maryland is going to the Sweet 16. Derek Queen with a runner left to the lane. Banked it in. And for the first time since 2016, the Maryland Terrapins are going to the Sweet 16.
That's the only true buzzer beater of this tournament, but I got to go back. I mean, you and I were talking on the ride over here today. It feels like forever ago that Alabama State Hail Mary to win, but that's still my favorite play of the tournament.
It was incredible. And it really set the tone for what we thought was going to be a crazy first and second weekend, but it was chalk that ruled the day. For me, a buzzer beater is always going to loom large, but to me, Walter Clayton Jr. has been the player of the tournament, and I love P.J. Carlissimo's description. He had a layup, but he dribbled out and shot a three, because that's exactly what he did. So I certainly love that call as well.
Well, he has, but the player of the tournament's got a goose egg on the biggest stage. It's the national championship, and his team is down 3. 31-28. Houston leading Florida from the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network. This is the Men's Basketball National Championship.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
HBO's The Last of Us returns with a new season on Max. Every path has a price. 5 years after the events of the first season, Joel and Ellie are drawn into conflict with each other in a world even more dangerous than the one they left behind. CNN calls.
What's up, basketball fans? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. It's the national championship. The Florida Gators and the Houston Cougars match up. 2 number 1 seeds vying for the national title at the Alamodome in San Antonio, Texas. It's going to be a great, great game. Both teams with surprising wins in the Final Four. We appreciate you being here. Please take a second, hit that like button down below, and share this link out so that we can get more basketball fans here in the chat to cheer on your favorite team. I'm going for the Gators. I'm a big Gators fan and have been for a very, very long time. Let's go do it again, Gators fans. We'll see you back in the chat.
Your place to take a time out and catch your breath. Because every team needs a place to regroup. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western. Book direct and save at bestwestern.com.
Pryor dribbling middle of the floor, working around the screen from Francis. He'll launch a 3 top of the key, and it's good. It drops down softly into the twine. 24-21 Houston. First made 3 of the night for the Cougars. Here's Clayton. Double comes, gets off to Hauk. Hauk will drive, dumps it to Handlog. His shot blocked right out of his hands by Francis. Sharp, the lob to the rim, and a 2-hand flush. Malik Wilson, the alley-oop. 26-21 Houston.
Really the stretch of that first half where Houston pulled away by 8, but they only scored 3 points over the final 4.5 minutes in Florida, thanks to Will Richards' 14. Climbed back in 31-28 at the half. You know, Nick Bott, Florida Gator football games, they have a tradition. They sing Tom Petty, who's a Gainesville native. They sing I Won't Back Down. That's kind of what it feels like their bigs have to do here in the second half. They better take it to Houston.
Yes, absolutely. And that's obviously how it has to be every time you're taking on a team like Houston. And so have to hang in there. I thought they battled more as the second half wore on, but that's a big part of this second half. I mean, obviously, Walter Clayton Jr. has to get on track. Florida's not going to win this game if he doesn't get going offensively, scoring the basketball. I want to see him attack the paint in transition when Houston's half-court defense isn't set and not settle for those long contested threes. Certainly got to take care of the ball as well. And then for Houston, I think you can almost pencil in that you know they're going to play hard and do their thing defensively, but they got to make their threes.
Yeah.
That's the difference in this Houston team. They're built to beat you from beyond the arc in the half court. Their shooters were ice cold. They're going to have to knock down a couple of threes in this second half because I thought they got good looks. They just missed them badly.
Both these teams running down a dream. Who's going to catch it at the end of the night? It's Houston 31. It's Florida 28. When we return, the start of the second half, you're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins yet? Because if you haven't, you're missing out on technology that changes how you think about shoes. First, these are not just regular slip-on shoes. They're not just a pair of loafers without laces. But what makes them different is the technology inside that lets you just step into them. There's a built-in hidden shoehorn that slides your foot in, so they look, feel, and wear just like a pair of shoes you're used to. Except you don't have to bend down, struggle to put them on, or touch them. Try them at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Westwood One presents Great Moments in Tournament History.
April 2nd, 2007. The national title game between top-seeded Ohio State and the defending champion Florida Gators. Billy Donovan's starting 5 and stayed in school for a chance at repeating. When 4 Florida players scored in double digits and they held the Buckeyes to a dismal 4 of 23 shooting from beyond the arc, their mission was accomplished.
We're down to 3, we're down to 2, we're down to 1. That's it. We've said it before and we'll say it again. The Gators are national champions for the second consecutive season. The University of Florida has won the national championship in college basketball, just the second team to repeat in the last 34 years.
Joining the 1991-92 Duke Blue Devils as the only teams to accomplish the feat since John Wooden's UCLA Bruins back in the 70s. With another great moment in tournament history, I'm Kevin Kugler.
Gators looking for their 3rd national championship. Houston their first, as we welcome you back courtside in San Antonio, where the Houston Cougars lead the Florida Gators 31-28. Let's check the halftime stats, sponsored by Barbasol. Feeling great starts with a great shave, and great shaves start with Barbasol shaving cream. For whatever your day brings, choose Barbasol. It's a can of can-do. Will Richard had 14 of the Gators' total 18 points over the last 9:32 of the first half. Richard with 14, 6 for Condon, 2 for Chinyelu, Martin, Hanlogton, and Hauk. You didn't hear the name Walter Clayton Jr. That's because he has not scored. 0 for 4 from the floor. Just the second time this year that Walter Clayton Jr. had a scoreless first half. The other time was January 7th when they beat Tennessee 73-43. He ended up with 7 in that game. Houston is 28-3 this year when leading at the half, led by 7 from Malik Wilson and 6 from Javier Francis off the bench. Those are not necessarily the names you expected to hear leading Houston at halftime. Time now to connect with our analysts for the second half keys, sponsored by Wago. Trust your game, trust your wiring with Wago electrical connectors. Gear up at wago.com/hoops for your next electrical project. Robert, what do you see for the second half?
Well, for Houston, coming off a game against Duke where they knocked down 10 threes, they are 2 of 14 from 3 in that first half. And you think about their big three guards. You look at Milos Uzan, LJ Cryer, Emmanuel Sharp. They have 11 points. They're 5 of 18 from the field. They are 1 of 11 from 3. They have got to get that thing going from the perimeter. And on the flip side for Florida, Walter Clayton cannot have 0 points in the second half. He's been a clutch player. He's been a second half player. He does have 5 assists. His shot selection has not been great. He has to be a factor here in half number 2.
Yeah, and Kev, I think Nick Baugh and Robbie have covered it. Nick up there with Horowitz and you down here. But Florida turning the ball over too much. 9 turnovers. They dodged the bullet. That's not going to get it done. Their bigs have to finish. They've had the ball inside 5 times. It's been blocked by the Houston bigs. And an amazing stat for me, Rob, no second chance points for Houston. They've been on the glass, but they're not getting, when you're missing threes and you're not getting second chance points, that's why you only have 31 at the half.
Well, and the fact that Houston only was 6 offensive rebounds, the way they started off, now it felt like some of those numbers might have been off on the stat sheet, but the bleeding was early on, and certainly Florida stopped it there as the half went on.
Before we get started, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network, your home for the national championships.
Radio. For full breakdowns of this game and more, tune in weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern on Channel 84 or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Kevin Kugler, Robbie Hummel, PJ Carlissimo courtside. And once again, let's check in with our courtside reporter, Andy Katz.
All right, thank you, Kevin. I had a chance to talk to both head coaches on and off the court here at halftime. Kelvin Sampson of Houston telling me we just weren't making a ton of shots, just the open shots. He said Emmanuel Sharp, Miles Uzan, they've got to play a little bit better. They got to make some shots. But he said to me, how many points does Florida have? I said 28. He says, I'm feeling really good about our defense. As for Florida, they huddled up in the hallway right out of the locker room. And I heard Walter Clayton Jr. say 20 minutes, the first 4, that's where we got to get it done. When I talked to Todd Golden, he said, first of all, after the first 4 minutes, he thought they did a much better job in terms of the backboard. The difference, he said, was the 9-2 on the turnovers. Wilson hit that bankable 3 that he said obviously was a little bit of an outlier. He thought their defense has been pretty good. I said, how do you feel? You've been down the last couple of games against Texas Tech and Auburn. He says, hey, it's a 1-possession game. You feel good.
They should feel good. And if they go what they did in the first 4 minutes of the Auburn game when they went on a 9-0 run, they'll feel even better. Time now for the start of the second half, sponsored by Indeed.com. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit. 20 minutes to a national championship in San Antonio. Will it be Houston with their first? Will it be Florida with their third? We're ready to go. This crowd is ready to go. They've been ready to erupt all night long. And they've got 20 minutes of basketball left in this regular season before we crown a champion.
And for Florida, it's not just Walter Clayton. Elijah Martin is 1 of 5 himself. So the stars on both sides. Elijah Martin's so good in that Auburn game with 17 points. The best players have got to play like the best players. And the team that does that are going to be national champs.
And it'll be LJ Cryer who will inbound. It comes into Emmanuel Sharp, moving from our right to our left, and they'll set up in the left-hand offensive zone. The handoff to Milos Uzan. Uzan up top to Roberts. Tugler back out there with the 2 fouls. Saddled with foul trouble in that first half. It'll back up to Cryer now near the logo. 15 to shoot. Cryer around the Roberts screen. Condon shows on the double. Back it goes to Roberts, feeding Cryer. Thought about the 3, turned it down. Now steps back. All over him is Clayton. The feed over to Roberts. Roberts fakes the give. Now he'll drive inside. A whistle and a blocking foul. He ran through Condon, who didn't get there and set. And that's a blocking foul on Condon. It'll be his first.
I thought he lowered his shoulder, though, and we're looking at the replay. That to me, is an offensive foul. It doesn't matter if he's in position. It's a discard right there.
I'm with you, and it was also a very, very strong defensive possession.
Yeah.
Uzan will inbound on the left baseline. Not a shooting foul, so Houston backs it up, and they'll set up in the offensive zone. Cryer against Chinyelu. Little jab step. Backs up for three, and he hits. He liked the matchup, and he took the big man with a little jab step and hits the three to stretch the lead to 6.
It's a big-time move there from Cryer. Chinyelu did his job of staying in front of the basketball. With that step back, Cryer creates some space. The best players have got to play like it. That's a good start.
Here's Richard on the drive. His shot blocked at the rim as he came down the baseline. Houston will bring it up the floor. Cryer pushing the pass to Sharp. His three rejected by Clayton and out of bounds. Boy, Sharp rising up to try to hit the three. It has been a rough night offensively. 1 for 8 for Sharp and 0 for 5 from 3.
Block shots on both sides. 6th block shot for Houston. Walter Clayton with a big-time block.
Uzan off the inbound, standing midcourt. Working the dribble around the screen from Sharp. Uzan feeding it over to Sharp now. Martin on him, 10 to shoot. Here's Roberts against Condon. Roberts going to work, spinning on Condon. In the paint, off-balance shot, too strong. Tugler swats the rebound out, but it ends up with Florida. Now Clayton will push it up the floor. Walter Clayton Jr. feeding Condon to the rim for a two-hand flush. Great find by Clayton as Condon rocks the rim, and it's 34-30. Houston by 4.
What a find right there by Walter Clayton. Drag ball screen in transition, but you get Chinyelu running the floor, and that takes away any help defense.
Cryer, quick three on the other end, won't go. Rebound Chinyelu for Florida. Outlet to Martin. He'll give it back to Clayton. Clayton looking up the floor. He's got 6 assists, and we've got a whistle on a foul going the other way. It's an offensive foul. Tugler and Condon tangled up, and Condon picks up his second personal foul. They hadn't even really gotten into the front court yet, and that foul whistled quickly.
Well, Doug Sermons was emphatic with the call right there. And you think about JoJo Tugler getting tied up in anything. Those 2 first-half fouls tied him up on the bench. He cannot afford to pick up number 3.
Uzan going to work for Houston against Clayton on the right-hand wing. Trying to find Sharp, sends him into the corner. Now Uzan spinning into the paint. Got a foul on the arm as he went up for the shot. Clayton got him on the arm, and he'll go to the free throw line for 2. It's never too early to start planning for the 2026 NCAA Men's Final Four, April 4th and 6th in Indianapolis. Visit ncaa.com/Men's Final Four and apply for your seats today. Only 2 free throw attempts for each team in the first half. Florida 2 for 2. Houston 1 for 2. Uzan at the line, 78% this year.
Houston not exactly a team that gets to the line all that much. That first free throw goes down. PJ talked about the need to manufacture some offense. I love the way Milos Uzan at 6'4", using that spin, coming to a jump stop, and then using your size. That's manufacturing offense. A little bit in transition. Uzan getting it done there.
He loves that middle game. He's so good with the crossover, then in where the dotted line used to be, and then a little pull-up.
Both free throws good. Lead stretches to 6, 36-30. Clayton to Richard as they set up in the right-hand offensive zone. A one-hand pass to Chinyelu, who will find Condon top of the key. Back it goes to Martin. Uzan on him. We've got a whistle and a foul. Offensive foul as Sharp was discarded underneath. The foul going on Will Richard, I believe, for Florida.
They were running one of those off-the-ball actions for, I believe it was going to end up being Clayton. And they get right there, Will Richard, for setting a moving screen. Now, he can't believe, he's saying, I'm moving because he ran into me at full speed.
Yeah, I agree with Todd Golden. He's upset talking to Terry Oglesby right now. That's 2 tough calls.
There's Cryer on the drive down the baseline from right to left. Gets it back on the left-hand wing against Chinyelu.
Oh, wow.
And now we've got a whistle and a foul underneath on Will Richard. Richard down low picks up his second and a technical foul on Todd Golden.
That's Doug Sermons trying to run everything. That's a bad call. And then he does it with a technical also.
But do you think, PJ, that maybe was building from Saturday?
There's no question.
Where they felt like,
Todd's been okay with everything, but then the 2 offensive calls against him, Doug Sermons pointing at him right now. You do not do that if you're an official.
Yeah.
You don't stick your finger in a coach's face.
So to the line goes L.J. Cryer for the technical foul shots. 6-point game, mark it down, see if this turns anything. It's been a hotly contested game all night as Cryer hits the first. It was a 6-point game at the 17-21 mark. Will Richard got a foul. Todd Golden, who had been upset both trips down the floor, gets teed up, and 1 for 2 goes Cryer, a 90% free throw shooter, and it's a 7-point lead, Houston with the basketball. Already 5 team fouls on Florida, none yet against Houston in the second half.
In 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
Cancel our late dinner reservation, PJ.
Absolutely.
So now Houston will inbound. They need somebody over to do it. Now inbound left baseline. It'll be Uzan. Looking over, got the call from Kelvin Sampson. Now peering in. Inbound comes into the corner. Cryer for 3, and he hits the 3 in the corner to stretch it to 10. 40-30. Houston with its largest lead.
How big is that technical foul? And L.J. Cryer takes advantage. Screen to that strong side corner. No one home, and he knocks down a big one.
Tugler picks up his third on the other end of the floor. Clayton went right at Tugler and initiated and got that contact from Tugler. Picks up his third. Out he goes as Javier Francis returns for Houston.
A slow developing play. Looked like it could be a little bit like the screen for the screener, but Cryer slips right out, gets a great look in the corner. Houston's offense finding some life from the three-point line.
A 3 up from Martin and off. We've got a whistle and a foul on the floor underneath against Houston, and that foul disparity that I mentioned a moment ago is starting to close a little bit as the foul is on Javier Francis, his first. We've seen a lot of physical play, and that one wasn't the most physical we've seen tonight. Clayton will inbound on the right baseline. It comes in to Richard. Richard will back it out to Condon on the right wing, and Condon will dribble middle of the floor, put the ball down, almost lost it. Clayton able to get it from him, brings it over to the right side. He's working against Roberts. Clayton scoreless so far in this ballgame. Backs out near the logo. Clayton now on the drive, fakes the pass and throws it away. He drove into the paint and he threw it to the left side. Hauk was over there waiting to check into the game. And Robbie, did he see out of the corner of his eye and think Hauk was one of his guys?
Could have, but PJ, how good was that from Javier Francis? Switching up to take away the shot, that containing the bounce. And that's big time from a big guarding a guard.
Every time Walter Clayton has gotten a dribble handoff or come off a screen, 2 Cougars jump him. He's got to be isolated. They're 4 eyes right on him. They're not letting him go anywhere.
Cryer will feed it over to Roberts. Roberts into the paint. Left-handed shot off the iron. Bounces twice and drops home. And Roberts with his second field goal. Just 2 for 8 from the floor. But Houston with a 12-point lead. Florida talked with Andy Katz about the first 4 minutes. The first 4's all been Houston. Here's Hauk on the drive down the left side of the lane. Enters it into the right corner. Richard for 3. That's no good. And the rebound ends up in the lap of L.J. Cryer of Houston. Cryer now will bring it up the floor. Stops at the logo. Keeps the dribble alive and brings it over to the right wing. Feeding Roberts. Roberts to the free throw line. Runner at the rim won't go. Rebounded by Javier Francis of Houston. And as he's falling out of bounds, he takes a timeout. Saving the possession. Calls timeout. And it will belong to Houston after the timeout on the court. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. You could save big when you bundle your auto, home, motorcycle, RV, or boat. Visit Progressive.com. An 11-2 start to the second half. Houston leads at 42-30. From the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network, this is the Men's Basketball National Championship.
At CertaPro Painter.
Cheers, basketball fans. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight for the national championship game. Who will cut down the nets here in San Antonio to be crowned the 2025 national champions? Please let us know. It's that time of the show. Where are you watching from? Let us know in the chat. Put out your city and state in the United States, city and province in Canada, or your country and flag emoji from all over the world. Speaking of which, you see that map up in the top corner? Check the link that you see coming through the chat, or it's pinned and in the description. Go show us where you're watching from and put your location on our map. As you can see, we've got a lot of places already covered. We're at 978 total page views. Let's get that 1,000th page view during the national championship. Thank you for checking out our website. Thank you for letting us know where you're watching from. And most importantly, thank you for helping us support SickKids Hospital in Toronto just by being here and hanging out with us in our Bracket Mania campaign. Good luck to your team, good luck to your bracket, and let's go Gators!
Not a huddle with two people.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and stream live sports from the best seat in the house. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary. Not guaranteed.
The beauty of a tournament cheat sheet is that someone else spent thousands of hours watching film and analyzing stats, so you didn't have to. When it comes to hiring for your small business, LinkedIn does the same thing with candidates. LinkedIn delivers the strongest hiring data and insights to help you identify the right candidates to make the best hiring decisions. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/SXM. That's linkedin.com/SXM. Terms and conditions apply.
Stay with us after the game when one of these teams will climb the Warner ladder and cut down the nets as the 2025 national champions. Warner, the official ladder of NCAA March Madness and the official ladder of construction professionals everywhere. Conquer new heights with Warner. Alongside Robbie Hummel, PJ Carlissimo, Andy Katz, our entire crew, and a kudos to our terrific crew, Aaron Cummins, Dave Hagan, Brian Finkelstein, Mike Eby, our guys back in the studio. Dan Silverman is here as well. He didn't make the crew picture today, but I know he was there in spirit with our crew. Andy Garcia as well. They've done a lot of work this weekend to make sure these games get on the air, and I know PJ echoes my sentiments towards most of that crew.
Most.
42-30, Houston by 12, 15:48 remaining in the second half. Uzan will inbound left baseline. In it comes to Emmanuel Sharp. Sharp will push it back up top to LJ Cryer. Cryer now working near the half-court line against Clayton. Cryer sizing up Clayton with 5 to shoot, trying to get through into the free throw line. Jumper from there, rolls off the iron, no good. And the rebound, Thomas Houck of Florida. Can the Gators put some offense together? The lob inside to Condon, that's a start. A two-hand flush for Alex Condon on an excellent feed from Walter Clayton Jr.
His 7th assist of the game.
Right there, Condon doing his work early, pushing that defender up the lane and making it an easier pass for Walter Clayton.
Silas Uzan, 15 to shoot as he dribbles around the screen from Sharp to the left-hand side, trying to cross over Clayton, who stays in front of him, pokes it out of his hands. Clayton gets the steal. He'll push it up the floor. Clayton, a little bobble on his way up, takes it to the rim. He won't get the shot to fall, but somehow got control of it enough through the contact coming to get up and knock that one off the iron and draw the contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Well, credit Walter Clayton right there, because it didn't look like he had control of the ball. He makes the play on the defensive end with the active hands. He finds a way to corral it and earns a trip to the foul line. Maybe that gets him going.
After the break, we'll see if Walter Clayton Jr. can get his first points of the game. 14:57 to go. Houston 42, Florida 32. You're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least that was the plan. Except now, the Dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what? That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong. You are fearless. You are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get.
Every day when we're on the road, people around us endanger themselves and others by looking at their phones while driving. There's the sneak-a-peeker, who darts their eyes between the road and their texts, or the nightlighter who illuminates their car after dark. Do any of these sound familiar? If that's you, reconsider your behavior before you find yourself becoming the fender benderer, the got-a-ticketer, or worst of all, the driver who killed someone. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Kevin Kugler, Robbie Hummel, and PJ Carlissimo here at our Grainger courtside seats in San Antonio. Need a buzzer beater to keep your team moving forward? Count on Grainger for fast delivery of industrial-grade supplies. When the game's on the line, call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Houston 42, Florida 32, but Walter Clayton Jr. going to the free throw line, Rob, looking for his first points. This can spark a guy, right? Just seeing the ball go into the net.
Well, especially a guy that has been as hot as Walter Clayton has. And I always heard it from my college coach. You never want to let a good player get his head up. And that means no layups, no free throws. Certainly for Walter Clayton, an opportunity to see the ball go in and get some confidence here.
He's done other things, which is good. Maybe that helped him get going. A really nice assist to Condon, a block shot, come up with a loose ball. He's doing some good things right now. The thing he's not doing, which is amazing, is putting the ball in the basket.
Yeah, he's had one field goal attempt in the last 17 minutes of game action, but he does have those 7 assists, so he's helped in other ways as he goes to the line, and there's the first point. Free throw is good. Walter Clayton Jr., who has averaged nearly 25 points per game through the entirety of this NCAA tournament. See if that's enough to get him going. Second free throw is good. He's got his first 2 points. Florida's back within 8, 42-34 as Houston will bring it up. And Suzanne will walk it across the half-court line where Elijah Martin waits for him. L.J. Cryer, back it goes to Uzan. Uzan now feeds it to Roberts. Roberts looking at Condon. He'll put it on the deck. Dribbles between his legs. Post extended. Spins baseline and throws a laser off the backboard, and it banks home. 44-34, Houston by 10. Clayton leaving. Gets to the rim. Jumper won't go. Tip try by Houck won't go. Loose ball scooped out. Saved on a dive by Sharp in front of the Florida bench on the elevated floor. What a play by Emmanuel Sharp.
That's a heck of an effort play right there. But how about that Juwan Roberts basket? He's on the right block, spinning back to the baseline, and somehow just gets that to go with his left hand. A laser beam off the glass.
Uzan now will hold it. We've got a whistle and a foul. Sharp hits the deck. And the foul on Walter Clayton Jr. That is his second and the team's 7th. So with 14:07 to go, Houston is shooting free throws the rest of the way in a 10-point game.
Well, it's not just the fouls that hurt. 2 of those 3 fouls were turnovers. There have to be 2 offensive fouls down there. So the Florida turnover total goes from 9 to 12. They've also missed both their threes. Houston's made 2 of 4. So a lot of good things happening for the Cougars.
And you send a guy in Emmanuel Sharp, who's 4th in the Big 12 Conference in free throw percentage, to the line, and he calmly hits the front end of the 1-and-1 on a night where he hasn't really seen it go down.
It's the same thought process. He's 0 for 5 from 3. He's 1 for 8 from the field, but he gets to get some confidence here at the foul line as well.
And he misses the second, or he loses more confidence as he misses the second free throw, or he's despondent. Walter Clayton Jr. is back on the bench for Florida. They have put him to watch again as Martin gives it off to Condon. He'll feed it to Denzel Aberdeen. Aberdeen up top to Houck, sizing up a 3, top of the key. It won't go. Rebound underneath and a foul. Condon grabs the rebound. The foul underneath against the Cougars. It'll go on Juwan Roberts. That is his 2nd personal foul, team's 4th. Officials conferring, is it a shooting foul? And they're going to review it to see if it is. So maybe they're going to look to see if it's a shooting foul. They may look to see if there's any additional contact under their 2, perhaps a hook and hold.
Yeah.
So now the slowest crane in the history of mankind will elevate slowly, lift up that monitor. Gives us a chance to remind you.
For a potential hook and hold.
And that they are looking for a hook and hold.
Yep.
Spruce is a new weed and grass killer with 9 simple yet effective ingredients that are safe for use around people, pets, and bees when used as directed. Spruce works differently by dehydrating the weed down to the roots. Robbie Hummel, I know you're poring over these replays right now. What do you see?
Well, Juwan Roberts grabs the arm of Alex Condon. I think he's just holding it. but there is kind of a little bit of a hook, you could say. I think this will stay a common foul, but I'd love to just ask Gene Steratore, who's 2 seats down from us. You never know with these bad boys.
Well, PJ's looking over Gene Steratore's shoulder right now. What's he saying?
Right in the beginning, it looks like his arm is underneath, but then from that point on, he just grabs him. Right there when it starts.
He's holding.
Yeah.
But it would be, is he like clamping and hooking?
And twisting, basically.
After review, the common foul is confirmed.
Robbie Hummel ending his season on a high note with an absolute accurate
There's
replay
13:47 for me to screw this up still. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
All right, so Robbie has committed to staying for the remainder of regulation.
Yeah.
It's great news for all of us.
I know you're excited.
I'm very excited.
We've only been together for the last 3 weeks.
Just traveling the country in a minivan.
Clayton got a couple of good looks in transition. The one he was fouled at, and then he missed a really good shot, but it wasn't set offense. It was kind of coming down and just initiating.
And against Houston's defense, it's going to be a good thing for them to get out and go.
Aberdeen inbounds to Houck. A little shot fake. I think he wanted to back up and launch the three when he got Francis moving, but then decided to drive, and Francis commits the personal foul, his second. And the 5th team foul on the Cougars.
Had a lot of whistles in the second half. Very few in the first half.
But something to watch for. Houston's bigs, Tugler with 3, Roberts with 2, and Francis with 2. If that gets worse here, that's a big storyline going forward.
And Aberdeen a whistle, and we've got a foul underneath. It just got a lot worse. Javier Francis away from the ball, picks up his 3rd personal foul. That's the 7th foul, or the 6th foul in this second half against Houston and 6 against Florida.
There's been a shift here.
We had 4 fouls, both teams, a 3 and a 1 in the first half. Now, either the players haven't adjusted or the officials haven't adjusted, but it's not 68,000 people here to see the guys in the striped shirts.
Houck looking over here to the right-hand side, feeding Aberdeen. Aberdeen driving from the right side, gets all the way down to the block and banks it off the window and home. 45-36 Houston. Florida gets back on the board.
A really physical take. And it looked like the guard on the basketball for Houston thought it was going to be downing the side ball screen. The only problem is Juwan Roberts isn't there. JoJo Tugler's not there. Straight line drive for Aberdeen all the way to the rim.
There's Cryer curling around to the right side, feeds Tugler. Extra pass, Uzan 3, left wing. Got a great look, can't connect. Rebound by Roberts. Offensive board for Houston. Can Roberts cash in? One-on-one against Condon. Turns. Up fake. Throws it off the glass. Won't go. Condon the rebound with 2 hands. Florida will start it up the floor down 45-36. Aberdeen now on the left-hand wing. Backs out to Condon. Condon, the big man, dribbles over to the left side. Feeds it to Martin. Martin, top of the key. Launching the 3. He got it. And here come the Gators, crawling right back into this one. 45-39, Houston's lead. Once 12 has been cut in half at 6.
Well, Kelvin Sampson not happy because Juwan Roberts, he's guarding that dribble handoff. He gets broken off, and Elijah Martin totally loses him and rises up.
Cryer hesitates, feeds it over to Tugler. Tugler will back it out to Cryer again on the right wing with 10 to shoot. Cryer looking for some help. Double team comes. They feed to Tugler. Right back it goes to Cryer. His 3 blocked by Houck. Picked up on the other end by Richard. Feeding it to Houck. Runs to the rim. Shot good and a foul. Uzan got him on the wrist as he took it up. Floated it over the front of the rim. Houck will go to the line for a chance at a 3-point play and trying to bring Florida within 1 possession.
Thomas Houck with an incredible defensive play. He's up on the jump shot. He gets a piece of it. I don't know how, PJ, he got this to go because it's a clear foul. He wraps that under with his right hand, flips it up, and gets nothing but net.
He forced it right through. How good and how resilient are these 2 teams? They are so good on the defensive end, and they are so resilient. It's really impressive to watch.
And a timeout called by the Houston Cougars. 45-41, and Houston with 1 timeout left in the game. Free throw coming for Florida when we return. Down 45-41. You're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Did you know your skin?
HBO's The Last of Us returns with a new season.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you.
I'm talking to you, one of the thousands of people that's hanging out with us here in the chat for the Final Four. we're running our SickKids Hospital Bracket Mania campaign where we're raising money for a local hospital in Toronto, which is doing amazing work and just celebrated a huge anniversary. 150 years for SickKids Hospital.
Thanks for chatting it up and enjoying this March Madness live hangout with us. So why not make it official? Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a live game. We're on a mission to hit 100,000 insiders, and you can help us grow this amazing community of sports fans making a difference. Join the conversation, keep it classy, and we'll see you in the chat. Good luck to your team and your bracket.
We really appreciate you being here. Thanks for turning on that bell. We'll see you back in the chat.
Smith, Defensive Player of the Year a year ago for the Houston Cougars, and I remember talking to you after your injury against Duke in the Sweet 16. You guys not able to win that game. Ultimately, Duke beat NC State to get to the Final Four. What has it meant to you to see your team, your program, your former teammates make it here all the way to the championship game?
I mean, it's awesome. You know, it's awesome to see these guys grow and to see how far they've came from last year and to see they just silence all the doubters. You know, I think the biggest thing with this team has been that they've been healthy all year. You know, we've been good enough, but we've been blessed to be healthy this year. I'm just so excited to see the outcome of this game.
To beat Duke, Juwan Roberts had to hit 2 free throws. The ultimate Houston Cougar, you know him very well. What did you think of the way he handled that moment on Saturday night?
Man, Big Wani, man, he's built for it. You know, he always say it, and you know, everybody can say anything that you want to about him, but he's made for the moment. You know, it doesn't matter about his free throw percentage or anything. You put Juan up there to win the game, he's going to win the game for you every time.
Take us to a practice. Houston, #1 defensive team in the country. You were the Defensive Player of the Year. What don't people see as to the manner in which Kelvin Sampson and the staff coach this defense?
The war that we go through with each other. You know, we fight each other, we fight as brothers, but in between those lines in practice, it's a war. You know, I think that's why we're so close with each other, and I think that's why these guys have such good chemistry.
What's it going to take for Houston to close it out?
Hey, man, just keep being ourselves, keep sticking to our culture. I think we got this.
Thanks, Jamal.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Andy, thanks. Houston 45, Florida 41. 78 seconds ago, Florida was 13 of 36 from the floor. They'd hit back-to-back field goals just twice all night, but they've hit 3 of their last 3, and Thomas Houck is going to the line to try to make it a one-possession game.
Well, we've seen him make defensive play after defensive play in this NCAA tournament, but I don't know if any as big as that last one. Block a shot, opportunity for a three-point play, that's down, and somehow Florida has cut this thing back. They're only down 3.
A 12-3 run to get it back to 45-42 and an 8-0 burst, a big part of it. Sharp over to Cryer. Houston trying to right the ship. Sharp, deep 3 right wing. That rattles off no good, and Clayton back on the floor gets the rebound for Florida. He'll push the action for the Gators. Stops on the left-hand wing, pivots back now to Hanlogden. Back it goes immediately to Clayton. Clayton driving, stops left side of the lane. Feeds it out to Aberdeen. 3 left wing. Halfway down it pops up, and the rebound Sharp for Houston. Uzan ahead to Wilson. Malik Wilson into the corner. The 3 is up and down. L.J. Cryer in the left corner for 3. 48-42. Houston by 6.
Well, Florida just not matching up. Malik Wilson sees the opportunity. He pushes the tempo. The help comes over. L.J. Cryer is locked and loaded in that left corner.
Aberdeen working against Wilson. Driving inside. Stops. Underhands it. Right block. Hanlogden misses it inside, but a foul's called down low. I believe on Uzan. See who they... Nope, they give it to Malik Wilson. There were 3 Cougars in the area. Wilson picks up the personal. That is his first personal foul. So to the line will go Micah Hanlogden, who all year has had 9 attempts. He's 2 for 9 at the stripe. You can listen to the live stream of our post-game show on the Westwood One Sports app and westwood1sports.com. Sponsored by Masa Chips, classic tortilla chips fried in 100% grass-fed beef tallow. No seed oils, no fake ingredients, just real crunch. Code MM30 gets you 30% off your first order at masachips.com. First free throw hard off the back iron, no good.
That's why it was so significant that he didn't finish. There's been too many opportunities tonight for the Florida Bigs that the the length and the shot blocking of Houston has stopped them inside.
Well, it's a shame because the move by Denzel Aberdeen, that free throw is no good for the second one. Aberdeen, under control, jump stop, heck of a play to set the table, but you get nothing out of it.
Exactly.
And the rebound ends up with Houston. Back-to-back misses for Handlogton. Pryor will start it up now to Uzan on the right-hand wing. Around the screen from Tugler, Uzan probing, lobbing it toward the rim. That was shortly.
Had Tugler on the backside.
And now Florida up the floor quickly to Martin. Martin steps back, 3 left corner, rattles off, no. Handlogton's follow, it won't go. Wilson the rebound for Houston. And Malik Wilson, who hit a couple of big shots early in this ball game. He's got 7 tonight. Brings it over to Cryer. Cryer working, gets free, 4-3. Halfway down, rebound into the hands of Clayton off the miss. Clayton now dribbling up the floor, goes right up the middle of the floor, stops top of the key, 3, a flat dart, no good, rebound Tugler for Houston.
It looked like that somebody either got a piece. Walter Clayton is yelling at Ron Groover, he got hit on the arm, but clearly he felt something there, whether it was just a defense there or it was a foul, it impacted the shot.
Yeah, it was a flat, nothing like his normal arm.
Uzan now as we hit 10 minutes to play for a title. Tugler over on the right side, bounces to Cryer, looks at a 3, dribbles to the free throw line, backs it out to Tugler, 3 seconds to shoot. Tugler's going to have to do something, 2 seconds, 1 second, forces up a shot. It is short, it's an air ball, it's a shot clock violation, and a turnover to Florida.
This is a grinder. Yes, that's what this is. Houston has totally locked down this tempo. Oh, and we're looking at the replay. Emmanuel Sharp definitely hit Walter Clayton on the arm there as he went up to shoot that ball.
No
and that
call.
is definitely a foul.
Should have been 3 free throws. Instead, goes the other way. Houston does not score. Florida will bring it up the floor again. Elijah Martin handing it off to Chinyelu. Now Houck at the top of the key. Back it goes to Martin. A shot fake. Lobbing it inside to Chinyelu, and he tried to lead him too far. Chinyelu goes down trying to get the basketball, and it ends up with Houston.
I don't Malik Wilson. He's done a lot of positive things. Yeah, he gave you a scoring boost in the first half, but his defense has been outstanding.
Now Cryer just surveying this Gator defense. Hands it over to Wilson. Wilson trying to drive on Houck. Stops, fades away from 12, but that shot won't go. Long rebound poked out. Uzan tips it over to Cryer. Cryer on the run from 12. That won't go. Rebound batted in the air, and it's going to be 4 on Tugler. The foul is called as Tugler reached over a couple of Gators to try to bat that rebound back as he does so well, but too much contact down low. 4th foul comes at the 9:07 mark.
LJ Cryer's got to shoot that ball.
Without
you
question.
have a good look from 3 for a guy that is a great shooter, and instead you take a contested floater that ends up leading to the 4th foul on JoJo Tugler.
And he made his last one when that Florida transition defense missed him. How they missed him, I don't know, but he was wide open.
And even worse, Florida walks 94 feet, and they're shooting free throws.
Well, I hate to say it, and I'll shut up about the officials, but when you have that many whistles in the first 10 minutes, now, that was a good call. He came over the top, no question, but you don't want to just see a whole bunch of 1-and-1. We're going to be in the double bonus shortly. That's not what we want to see.
Aberdeen hits the front end of the 1-and-1, so he'll get one more. Florida within 5, 48-43. Aberdeen sets, second free throw good, 4-point game, 9:07 to go to a national championship.
How Florida's in this game with the turnovers, the rebounding, and Walter Clayton, I have no idea. But PJ talked about the resiliency. Both teams, it's been on display.
Uzan now will go to work for Houston. Dribbling middle of the floor. They once led by 12 in the second half. Uzan, top of the key, swings it around to Wilson with 10 to shoot. Wilson has to back it out. Sizing up Clayton. Wilson going to work. Steps back, fade away, baseline, no. Rebound, Chinyelu. Clayton will push. It's been a rough night offensively for Clayton. Feeding it to Martin. A zip pass inside to Chinyelu. 5-foot runner won't go, and a foul's called. The foul on Javier Francis underneath. That is his 4th. So 4 on Tugler and 4 now on Francis.
That's another breakdown, though, with Houston's transition defense. Both Jawan Roberts and Malik Wilson are guarding the same guy. You put Javier Francis in a really tough spot. You just don't see Houston make these types of mistakes.
They're so focused on Walter Clayton Jr., and it's working. But every time he comes across half court, there's 2 players guarding him. They just have like a little cup, and they just will not let him do anything by himself. He's got to get the ball to someone else. Chinyelu misses the first one. I'm telling you what would bother me if I'm Todd Golden. They have repeatedly found their bigs in the paint, and they're not getting as much from it as they should be.
And I will say for Houston, I like Malik Wilson. I think he's had a really good game, but those last 2 shots he's taken are not what Kelvin Sampson wants.
Chinyelu makes the second. That foul, by the way, was the 10th on Houston in the second half. Double bonus the rest of the way. Florida's committed 7. Here's Uzan. Up by 3 of the Cougars with the basketball, 48-45. Houston has missed their last 6 shots, just 1 for their last 11. They've not scored in over 3 minutes. Jawan Roberts to work against Chinyelu. Lost it on the baseline, gets it back. Double team comes, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Martin. It'll stay with Houston, but only 7 to shoot. 8:08 to play in the ballgame.
That was good defense there. Chinyelu maybe getting away with holding up Roberts, though. Gets back in the play, a physical drive, and Chinyelu trying to match that physicality. I think he got away with a foul, though, and you can hear the crowd reacting.
Uzan left baseline inbound to Roberts. Tries to take it right off the window. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Houck, and Florida now down 3 with the basketball. Trying to draw even. Clayton dribbling on the logo. A little shot fake, drives left side of the lane, all the way to the rim. Count the bucket and the foul. Walter Clayton Jr., his first field goal comes on a rack attack to get Florida to the line. Looking to tie it after the timeout.
He wanted to take the 3 to tie it. They defended it. He just put it on the floor with his left hand, took the contact and finished. He's going to get it done the old-fashioned way.
And a chance for a brand new ball game after the timeout. 7:54 to play in the second half. Houston's 12-point lead nearly gone. 48-47 Cougars. You're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
It's time to shake off the winter blues and get your home looking its best. Whether it's new windows, fresh siding, or a stunning entry door,
What's up, basketball fans? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. It's the National Championship. The Florida Gators and the Houston Cougars match up. 2 number 1 seeds vying for the national title at the Alamodome in San Antonio, Texas. It's going to be a great game. Both teams with surprising wins in the Final Four. We appreciate you being here. Please take a second, hit that like button down below, and share this link out so that we can get more basketball fans here in the chat to cheer on your favorite team. I'm going for the Gators. I'm a big Gators fan and have been for a very long time. Let's go do it again, Gators fans. We'll see you back in the chat.
% off jack stands, 56-inch roll cabs under $800, and 2,300 PSI electric pressure washers under $190. See? Straight to the point, so you can get straight to the savings. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until April 13th, 2025 while supplies last. Limitations apply.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. Y'all.
What's up, insiders? All right, we are pushing for the 100K. Come on, hit that subscribe button down below if you have not already. Come on, let's go. Hit that subscribe button, 93,420. Let's make it go crazy. We've got 7 minutes and 54 seconds left in the national championship game. It's going to be a crazy finish. Wow, what just happened? Walter Clayton Jr. stepping up to the line, finishing up the and one. Let's see how it goes. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I had to take the hoodie off. It's a little hot down here in the hub with the Gators cooking. Ready to start the comeback. It's on. Do not go anywhere. Hit that like button, share this link out, and make sure you're here for the finish of this game. Let's go, Gators. Let's finish strong. We'll see you back in the chat.
bogged down against each other, and the refs don't want to call fouls because we're going to just shoot free throws. Players are kind of getting after it.
Yeah.
Offense is hard to come by right now.
Well, and the foul situation for Houston is a major problem. Double bonus for the rest of the game for the Gators, and you've got Javier Francis with 4 and JoJo Tugler with 4.
Clayton ties this ball game at 48 with the free throw. 17-6 since Houston took a 42-30 lead. 48 all. National title game. 7:45 to play in San Antonio. LJ Cryer, middle of the floor, dribbles to the left side. Uzan off a curl, backs it out now on the right-hand wing. Uzan now middle of the floor, goes past Aberdeen, gets to the free throw line, forces up a wild shot with one hand, no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds.
I thought maybe Cryer hit that out of bounds.
Yeah, Roberts was trying to get it into the hands of Cryer, and Clayton tipped it out.
I couldn't tell whether it was a pass or a shot. That's the shot that he usually loves Uzan in there.
Like maybe, PJ, he lost it going up.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he lost control.
Uzan now off the inbound, dribbles left side, picked up by Chinyelu on a switch. Now back against Aberdeen, crosses him over, gets to the left elbow. 5 on the shot clock. Roberts at the free throw line. Roberts with 3 to shoot, driving on Chinyelu. Blocked shot, but a foul. Chinyelu commits a foul and spikes the basketball in the air, and that's going to be a technical foul. You cannot spike the ball after you're frustrated with a foul call. Chinyelu gets the personal, and now he's been teed up.
We're watching the replay right now. It looked like that was a lot of ball there, PJ. He couldn't believe it, and
he slammed it. He touched the palm, which usually you can get away with. I'd love to see another look. Doug Sermons again with the tech, but he's correct this time.
Yeah, no question about that technical.
He had to call that technical.
I would love to, like you said, see that again from a different angle.
Well, he had ball. Maybe his fingers slid down into the palm at the end, but I would have called it a play on.
So this will be 4 free throws for Houston at the 7:13 mark, with Cryer going to the line for the first 2. Second technical foul in this half against the Gators, and the free throw rattles around and drops. So 1 more for Cryer.
You think about compounding the mistake, and it's really not his mistake. Or compounding the play. You get called for a foul, it cannot lead to a technical there.
Second free throw good for Cryer. He makes them both. And now, after the foul on the shot from Chinyelu, free throws coming for Jawan Roberts, who tonight is 1 for 2 at the line. This was the end of the floor that he hit the 2 big ones on Saturday to give Houston the lead in their eventual win.
Well, we were just talking about how free throws had impacted Florida's run, and now it's just going the other way. The pendulum swings, and Houston with an opportunity.
Free throw number 1 is no good for Roberts. If you'd said before the game an ugly, muddied up game favors who, I would think Houston would feel pretty good about that.
I think so.
Well, that's the thing about these 2 teams. If you put aside the fact that one of them is one of the 3 highest scoring teams in the NCAA, and the other one is the best defensive teams in terms of stopping their opponent, they're so like each other in many, many other categories.
That's true.
Roberts hits the second. So 3 points on that trip for Houston, and it's 51-48. Cougars by 3, coming up on 7 to play. Houck at the top of the key, feeds it to Clayton, back to the rim, floats it over the front of the iron, good, and a foul. It's Clayton time, and he's delivering once more. The foul dropping on Cryer, and Clayton dropping the shot over Cryer, heads to the line for 1 more.
Well, it's just a high-level cut by Walter Clayton. And you look at Thomas Houck. Yes, he's the passer, but he's really also a screener. Clayton's coming over the top. He rubs his man. It's a beautiful delivery by Houck. Walter Clayton goes back to the line. Opportunity for 3.
And, Rob, they've gone away from as many of the dribble handoffs and dribbling off screens. They're passing and cutting. So the opportunities to double are not there. Very good adjustment off the Florida bench.
Todd Golden trying to fire up the Gator fans. Uzan will bring it across the timeline as the free throw is good. 51-51. Cryer over to the right-hand wing. Looking. Has Condon on him on a switch. Now he'll try to take the big man off the dribble. Gets into the paint. Stops. Pivots short on the shot. Rebounded by Walter Clayton Jr. Florida up the floor. Shot fake Martin, driving to the rim, scoops up a wild shot. It won't go, and Roberts the rebound for Houston. He'll push it quickly. Sharp in transition. Stops on the left wing. Feeding it to Wilson. Wilson, left block, turns. Floater over Condon's outstretched arm is good. And Houston leads 53-51.
It's a little bit of that no, oh yes right there. But a good run by Malik Wilson. Had to float it up there so Condon couldn't get to it.
Now Condon picks off his defender. He drives it over to Aberdeen. Aberdeen down the right baseline. Banks that one home. Ties it again at 53 as we approach 6 minutes to play in the national championship. Sharp will walk it up.
Hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need.
Hey, Insiders! First and foremost, Mike and Allison want to thank you for being part of this amazing community. With March Madness in full swing, we need your help. The TSI Bracket Mania campaign is raising money for SickKids Hospital in Toronto through the Final Four. A portion of the proceeds from every single game goes directly to SickKids. Click the pinned link in the chat or the description to donate. Every bit helps. Can't donate? No problem. Just share the campaign with your friends or on social media to make a huge impact. This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Clink the link, and holy Mackinac, let's help heal the future.
This goes right back to Sharp. Sharp will drive all the way to the rim. He got past Houck and he lays it in on the right side. 58-55. Houston by 3, and Clayton will walk it up.
Well, it's in the back of the mind to Thomas Houck that Emmanuel Sharp can come off this and let it fly. So he is up, and Sharp does the smart thing, just burns it to the rim with his right hand.
Condon needs some help. He picked up his dribble looking for help. Aberdeen finally comes to get it on the left wing. Aberdeen looks at the shot clock, sees 10 and counting. Houck at the top of the key. One dribble to his right side, hands to Richard. Double team comes. Richard loses the basketball, and a whistle blows. Richard stumbled. They're going to call a push. That whistle was incredibly late. Richard had already lost the ball. Then the backside official, Ron Groover, blows the whistle, and free throws coming for Will Richard.
Well, Richard's coming off the dribble handoff. L.J. Cryer is following from behind. He puts the brakes on. There's a little bit of contact there, but then Richard just kind of loses his balance. That is a break for Florida.
Richard at the line hits the free throw. He's got 15.
His first point of the second half after 14, keeping Florida in striking distance in the first half.
Chinilu will return. Houck will leave. 58-56. Houston by 2. Cryer with the foul. A moment ago, his third.
You think if we ask the officials if they could just add another 10 minutes on the game now, because the way it's going is beautiful. They're going up and down. It looks like the way we thought these teams were capable of playing.
If they can blow the whistle for 10 more minutes, they might be involved in that. Emmanuel Sharp will bring it across the timeline. Looking up top, bounces it over to Francis. Francis will hand it off to Uzan. Uzan going to work against Aberdeen. He'll work it up to the top of the key. Uzan will swing it around the right side. Driving is Roberts. Goes from right to left. No, but a follow jam from Javier Francis. On the right block, elevates and throws it down with two hands. 60-57, Houston by 3.
I love that Juwan Roberts catches that with a full head of steam already going downhill. Really smart play for an athlete getting to the rim.
Aberdeen sends it to Chinilu, top of the key for Florida in the right-hand offensive zone. The handoff to Richard. Richard almost goes to splits trying to get around Cryer. Gives it to Condon. He'll drive from the top of the key. Gets to the left block. Shot fake. Turns baseline. Shot won't go. Rebound punched out to Uzan.
There's another missed shot at the rim, PJ, by another Florida big.
I like the shots that Florida's getting, but they're not converting enough in close. Now, again, it's not easy to convert against Houston's interior defense.
Sharp standing at the bottom of the Final Four logo, looking over to the Houston bench. A bounce over to Roberts. Back it goes to Sharp. Sharp around the Roberts screen. Stops, bounces it to Roberts. Roberts will send it baseline to Cryer, and he stepped on the sideline and out of bounds. An unforced error for Houston. They turn it over with 3:24 to go and a media timeout. Houston 60, Florida 57. You're listening to the Men's Basketball National Championship on the Westwood One NCAA Radio Network.
Harbor Freight knows time.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you.
I'm talking to you, one of the thousands of people that's hanging out with us here in the chat for the Final Four. We're running our SickKids Hospital Bracket Mania campaign where we're raising money for a local hospital in Toronto, which is doing amazing, amazing work and just celebrated a huge anniversary. 150 years for SickKids Hospital.
Thanks for chatting it up and enjoying this March Madness live hangout with us. So why not make it official? Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a live game. We're on a mission to hit 100,000 insiders, and you can help us grow this amazing community of sports fans making a difference. Join the conversation, keep it classy, and we'll see you in the chat. Good luck to your team and your bracket.
We really appreciate you being here. Thanks for turning on that bell. We'll see you back in the chat.
Those agents offer you cash just for the opportunity to sell your home. Compare their proposals, select your agent, get paid. Thousands of dollars just to pick your agent. Only with Ready. Find out more. Go to ready.com. REDY.com.
Long hours, hard work, and doing things the right way. That's what's built this country, and that's what's built Beefaroo. For over 50 years, we've been serving up famously delicious burgers, fries, and shakes with traditional family values at our core. And now, we want you to bring Beefaroo to your hometown. Be your own boss, build something your community will love, and own a Beefaroo franchise that works as hard as you do. We're committed to continue to build our well-established American fast casual restaurant system with professional franchisees who are aligned with our culture and passion for providing the highest quality consumer experience at an affordable price. With territories available nationwide, there's no better time to become a Beefaroo franchise owner. Check out beefaroofranchise.com today, because we take the time to do it right.
For the heavy-duty Mondays, the action-packed Sundays, and everything in between, only Blue Dev products are triple filtered and guaranteed pure to keep your diesel truck running strong. And Blue Dev Platinum helps prevent deposits before they create problems, so nothing stands between you and the day, wherever it takes you. Count on America's #1 diesel exhaust fluid. Blue Dev and Blue Dev Platinum. Guaranteed for what drives you.
Sirius XM College Sports Radio, your virtual classroom for all things college sports on Channel 84. You're listening to Off Campus on Sirius XM College Sports Radio. Here's Jacob Hester, Dallin Cuff, and Matt McCall.
All right, welcome back in. It is Off Campus, one final segment here in hour number 2. We just had Ben Stevens join us. We went through some of his favorite plays, but as we all know, Dallin Cuff, our co-host here, likes to dabble, if you will, and maybe putting a wager out there or 7. So, Dallin, what is going to be your favorite play coming up in tonight's national championship game?
Well, I got to tell you, Hester, I don't have the ability to play anything. I'm not calling in bets to friends in other states, but I can walk down and get an Uzi from Denny's down here. Cannot bet the game here in the state of Texas, which is disappointing to say the least. So that's what we're doing. And I'm not a degenerate enough to put on the look ahead line for folks. Don't you know, this line was out there as a 1 or 1.5 point line before Saturday night as a look ahead line. So you theoretically could have bet it if I wanted to, but I wasn't that much of a degenerate. So that said, these are all where I want to be or would be if I could have the ability to do so. And I think one thing that Ben said that was really poignant is so close. It's a 1.5 point or 1 point spread, depending upon your book. We almost never see that. I'm going to take the 1.5 with Houston. I think that's my favorite play. I don't upset my Gator friend over here. I think Florida is the team that, like, if I was just looking at it on paper, I would pick team that from a gut standpoint, I feel like they're going to win this thing. And I just feel like to beat these guys is so hard. And if they happen to beat them, I think it's going to be a one possession game. And if you get a point and a half, that may be the difference in the equation here. Another play I really do like, Florida's first halves. Florida still hasn't played a full 40 minutes. It was good. Like, they played 18, maybe 20 against Auburn. They played probably 30 against Maryland. UConn way less than that. Texas Tech way less than that. Yeah, it wasn't good. So they continue to show us how great they are in clutch moments. But for the full 40, and particularly the first 20, I want to see how they play. And I want to say I'm going to lean toward Houston.
Cannot find the lead. Uzan and Houston have had the answer. Will they again, as Tugler will hand it off to Cryer.
Shooter. He knocks down a pair. We have our 11th tie of the night. Just over 2 minutes to play. Hand it off. Cryer.
Same play this way. A little pin down. They got a foul. Condon holding on to Roberts. That was a nice-looking set they were developing, too.
And that's 10 team fouls, so 2 shots for Jawan Roberts.
And once again, all those fouls early in the second half may be coming back to hurt Florida here.
And it's going to be Tugler at the free throw line.
Interesting.
He's a 54% shooter. He has not attempted one tonight. Houston up by 1. 2:05 on the clock. One out of 2. Rebounded by Richard.
I think he's got to give it up. That's it.
Oh, Clayton. Oh, off the heel. Roberts is there. 1:50 to play.
Quick check.
Yeah, but a great late contest by Sharp.
That's true. They're running some nice action, though.
Uzan for Tugler. 1:40 on the clock. Houston leads by 1. They got bunched up in the area. Uzan now controls it with 9.
He likes to get right in the lane.
Uzan lines it up.
Nice piece.
It's Richard who does get a piece.
That blue shirt's all there. They should have grabbed it.
They didn't know. They weren't aware.
Yeah.
4.3 on the clock.
They're too busy trying to block out.
That's a good point.
Cougars off the offensive glass. Great contest there by Richard.
They did what their coach told them, and it didn't work out well.
But an opportunity here for Houston. 4.3 on the shot clock. Uzan. Get it in. Cryer. Nice fake. Pull up. Bangs.
What a rebound.
Tugler knocked away for a moment and out of bounds. They're going the other way.
They're going to have to lock up.
Yeah, I agree.
So they are going to take a look at this. It was Tugler who had it initially, and then it got knocked out of his hands, and no, he touched it last.
I think it's Florida ball. Yep.
Right call.
That should be a quickie.
It was off his left hand, trying to wrestle it away from Alex Condon.
Previous out of bounds is under review.
All right, Gene.
Yeah, guys, clearly off Tugler. I think what they'll do, they'll make that decision quick, and then I'm looking at time just to make sure that the clock is where it needs to be as well. Clearly see off the back of Tugler's left hand. Now we're looking at time and who touched it, where it touched out of bounds last.
Ron Groover, Doug Sermons, Terry Oglesby, the crew tonight for the national championship game. This looks like an open and shut case. It is Groover and Oglesby collaborating.
Get a chance to set up your team either way here. He's a great motivator, though, isn't he? He really gets into the
After
players.
reviewed, out of bounds call is confirmed. Will be Florida's ball.
1:21 on the clock.
And Raph, right now, Todd Golden got a timeout here, a free timeout here to diagram a play. Both coaches have been so good coming out of timeouts, Nice sets. He got one for Clayton on that three-pointer earlier. Let's see what Florida executes here.
I thought they'd pick him up a little bit in the full court, Houston. Not a gambling D.
Roll it out for Clayton. Florida is down by 1. Clayton takes it.
Nice cut.
Condon inside, shows it, floats it up, no. Rebound, how can it? And knocked into the hands of Uzan with 1:07 to play.
How about that contest by Tugler on that Condon hook shot right there?
Under a minute left. Houston holding on to a 1-point lead. The block by Hal. Cryer didn't have a chance.
Great help.
Clayton over to Martin. He drives. Martin Baker, no. Foul call. 46.5.
I love the competition right now, don't you?
Both of
the action.
Yeah, both teams competing, but I love Martin seeking the contact there, going at the body of the shot blocker, drawing a foul, and I think that's 5 on Tugler.
It is, and how about this? The defense there couldn't prevent, but the other end, Florida's 2 bigs were magnificent on that dribble drive.
So Joseph Tugler's night is done. Elijah Martin to the free throw line where he shoots it at 76%. They're all tied up. Florida has led for a grand total of 17 seconds tonight. They're up by 1.
I think we want a timeout now. But Todd called it first.
First lead since 8-6. We have 46.5 left in the national championship.
To be a pet parent is to be human. Sometimes we feel guilty, even when it's for their own good. It's not always a walk in the park. That's why more and more pet people rely on Hill's with scientifically proven formulas to give more love than humanly possible. Because you're only human, there's Hill's. Science does more.
Florida leads Houston 64-63. Our game reset. Each team has 1 timeout remaining. Both teams are in the double bonus. Possession arrow favors the Gators. Houston has possession. And a lot of prayers with 46.5 on the clock.
And they're usually patient on the offensive end. I guess the thought, 2 for 1, I think you go for the first good one, don't you?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of people think the 2 for 1 action, but Kelvin Sampson, he's going to get the shot he wants. It's a matter of who is he going to go to. Cryer has been the hot hand.
I like Cryer, but I love Roberts.
I like Roberts too, and also Sharp getting downhill, so physical as a driver and his ability to draw fouls.
And the only problem with Roberts is the free throw shooting too.
We're down to 40 seconds remaining in a 1-point game. Cryer.
Nice defense.
Shot clock down to 15. Sharp using the screen. Sharp with 10.
She lost it.
Out of bounds. Turnover, Houston. 26.5 remaining.
There really was nothing there.
Well, look at the help, though. The stunt from the side there, just so alert.
And Richard.
Yeah, to help his partner out.
They will review it, but it was clear.
Boy, the bigs have adjusted great, I think, defensively for Florida.
Previous out of bounds is under review.
Containing some quicker people on dribble drives.
And we saw it earlier with Cryer. He tried to drive baseline against the bigs, a turnover, and then right there, Condon sliding his feet. Great reach in there by Richard.
Jim, we see Richard get a piece, but the ball then hits the knee of Sharp.
Yeah, good hands by Richard. Off the right knee is Sharp, and I think 26.5 on the game clock is a good number too, Ian. Could be a 10th maybe, but I think it's a good clock stoppage as well.
So the shot clock will be turned off. Florida will have possession, up by 1.
We've been here before. You know, if Florida has the ball, it appears they will. Getting the ball inbounds against the pressure. You know they're going to pick up full court, face guard. We saw this Saturday night.
And the one thing they can't do is have too many people down here as they take another look at this.
How about the courage of Richard to reach in on that play?
After review, the out-of-bounds call is confirmed. The Florida ball. Game clock will be set to 26.6 seconds.
You're going to see big on the ball right now. They're excited. Why not? Pretty good defensive play. Right now, Francis on the ball. And I like the piece of officiating now. They're saying to Francis, you can't go over the line. Letting them know. Of course, you're locked in place here as well. Got to make distinct cuts, run through the ball, and be tough with it.
Houston had a wild comeback against Duke. Duke couldn't get the ball in cleanly. Florida does. They surround Hout. Now to Clayton. Ahead. Over Aberdeen's head. He tracks it down, and then there's contact. Uzan will get called for the foul with 19.7.
And almost a turnover there on that pass.
His foot was almost on the line if they had been pushed. Actually, not a bad foul when you think of it, though. Stop the clock right away. Put the pressure on the free throw shooter, but I think they called it before.
They did. It was bang-bang. Aberdeen's got 6 points. He's 2 of 2 at the free throw line.
Try and slap it back if you're in a blue shirt. Conversely, all these coaches, especially these high-level guys, they teach their kids to squeeze and go after it.
A second attempt for Aberdeen. Duke left the door open for Houston. The Cougars completed the furious comeback. Aberdeen makes the second attempt at 65-63.
Timeout, Houston.
19.7 to play.
Dana had to come back, Bird. Did it in Kansas. Miraculous tournaments.
The Cougars are out of timeouts. Got a 2-point game in San Antonio.
What did you bring back from your last trip? A dumpling you'll never forget. What nature truly feels like. A bit of local art. A soulmate for the week. Finding out you love a good poncho. And glamping. And that durian is everything they say it is. Everywhere you go with Marriott Bonvoy shapes you, making you the greatest souvenir of all. Explore our entire world of hotel brands and experiences.
This looks bad, Harris. We're probably gonna have to amputate.
I'll get some 3D images to see how bad it really is.
I don't care how many Ds you use.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you.
I'm talking to you, one of the thousands of people that's hanging out with us here in the chat for the Final Four. We're running our SickKids Hospital Bracket Mania campaign where we're raising money for a local hospital in Toronto, which is doing amazing, amazing work and just celebrated a huge anniversary. 150 years for SickKids Hospital.
Thanks for chatting it up and enjoying this March Madness live hangout with us. So why not make it official? Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a live game. We're on a mission to hit 100,000 insiders, and you can help us grow this amazing community of sports fans making a difference. Join the conversation, keep it classy, and we'll see you in the chat. Good luck to your team and your bracket.
We really appreciate you being here. Thanks for turning on that bell. We'll see you back in the chat.
2.
Uzan gotta go.
Uzan, give it up. Cryer, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, sharp.
He walked, he can't touch it.
He can't. 1 second, and it's over. Florida is back on top of the college basketball world. Championship madness. It's a great day to be a Gator. They win the national title. Houston did not get a shot off. Florida 65, Houston 63. And it's heartbreak once again for the Houston Cougars.
And Bird, they matched up beautifully on the perimeter people. Made sure they weren't going to get a three. Even used the clock. No direction whatsoever getting into the lane. And great communication skills.
Yeah, once again, Clayton, a beautiful closeout at the end, causing that almost a violation by Sharp. They tried to go to Cryer here on the slap back, pinned down for Sharp, and Clayton got out there, contested. Sharp had to let the ball bounce, and getting on the floor to win the championship. Fantastic effort, fantastic second half. And just beautiful execution defensively.
And right there, icing, reacting, and what a closeout, as you mentioned, with Clayton.
And Houston was going for the three for the win.
Alex Condon hits the deck, secures it. Time expires on the Houston Cougars. And utter elation for the Florida Gators. They are the 2025 national champions.
And Bird, how appropriate is it ends up a loose ball on the floor against Houston, and Florida got it.
The Florida Gators win their third title. And for Kelvin Sampson and the Houston Cougars, this one is a gut punch.
And everybody who's coached or been in this game, your heart's broken for Kelvin. I mean, it's so meaningful, obviously, to any program, but what he's put in, the blood, sweat, and tears, and to coerce this program with all the victories and success, it's heartbreaking.
Florida wins it. We send it to Tracy.
Coach, you told me that if you won this national championship, the feeling would be surreal. I can see the shock on your face right now. Take us through, though, the stretch of that game. You guys were down 12 points at one point. The fight that this team showed to get it done.
We did what we did all year. We stayed the course. We have the best backcourt in America. I think we have the best front court in America. And like we've done all year, we made plays when we needed the most. We guarded our butts off down the stretch. Made every 50-50 winning play. The Gators are natty, baby. We got the natty, baby. We got the natty. Let's go!
Now, Will, you were his first commit. You guys lost in the first round, and the turnaround you were able to do. What was the difference with this team this year?
Just how connected we are. I mean, we all love each other. We love playing for each other. And we love being a Gator, man. Gator boys, stay hot.
Now, Walter, I know it wasn't the easiest game for you, but the feeling of being able to cut down the nets and hoist a national championship trophy.
Man, that's a feeling I can't even explain, man. I can't wait, though. I love you, Mom. I can't wait to see my mama, man. Mama, I love you, girl.
You guys go enjoy this one. Congratulations.
Hey, shout out to all the people at the Odome. We had a sold-out Odome tonight.
They've got the natty. They will cut down the nets. The Florida Gators, unforgettable finish. The 2025 national championship belongs to Florida. Houston comes up short. Once again, for Bill Raftery, Grant Hill, Tracy Wilson, Gene Steratore, Ian Eagle, saying so long for now from San Antonio. We've got so much more to come. Inside March Madness, presented by Buick. And of course, one shining moment. It's all coming up after these messages.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like getting Bateman when you need the protection of Batman.
Easy, Batemobile, not too fast, baby.
Never play with poison ivy.
Someone's a flirt.
Bateman, please.
Ooh, that's pretty. That's so pretty. We're going to get that soon. 94,490 plus in the what? Oh, where is my camera? Where did it go? The Florida Gators are the national champions in 2025. Cheers to the Florida Gators. Cheers to all of you for hanging out with us tonight. There you go. Toothless says, Houston, we have a problem. Got to give it up for the Houston Cougars. What a performance from them. They gave the best team in college basketball a run for their money tonight. I got to say I am proud to be a Gators fan after that performance this evening. Wow, what a game down the entire game. Walter Clayton Jr. has a howler of a championship game. Doesn't show up till the last 8 minutes of the game. The team battled, kept it strong the entire time. This was not the repeat of 2007 when Joakim Noah and Roberson and those guys just started dominating. Al Horford. There were so many guys on that team that just completely dominated two tournaments, really, in 2006 and 2007, beating UCLA and Ohio State in the Natty. And we just went and got another Natty. I say we because I spent a lot of weekends in Gainesville partying it up when I went to FGCU down in Fort Myers. Hence the video that we will play here shortly. The kids are all riled up. They're all excited upstairs. I don't know, they're playing ping pong or something. They're not even paying attention to the game. But cheers to Gainesville. Cheers, Gators Nation. You did it. Now, hopefully we can bring that same heat back to college basketball or college football because it's been a long time for the Gators there. All right, everybody, let's take it to the post game. We're out of here. The Bracket Mania campaign is officially over as of this evening. Please take a look at the pinned link that's in the chat and in the description. Donate if you are able. If you appreciate what we do here at Toronto Sports Insider, bringing sports to the world and a place for everybody to hang out, no matter where you're from, no matter what TV channel the game is on. If you want to hang out with people all over the world, the game is on Toronto Sports Insider. That's what we do. Good night, and we'll see you all very soon for the playoff push. Look out for that one, we the North. The playoff push coming up. Every single game of the NBA and NHL playoffs will be live right here. Building infrastructure. Changing the world. One insider at a time. Good night, everybody. Take it away, outro. Cheers, Insiders. Thank you so much for hanging out with us through all of the live streams. The Bracket Mania campaign is now concluded. The first annual. We're going to do it again next year. What a ride it was from the tip-off just a couple of weeks ago when 68 teams are now down to the one, the champion, the winner of it all. And oh yeah, our Bracket Mania pool, you're getting a t-shirt. Now, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for helping us just by being here, clicking our video and hanging out with us here on YouTube. You made a difference. By sharing the link out, by subscribing, by liking, by doing all of that cool YouTube stuff, it is a massive contribution to our donation every single game, every single month. And just with this campaign alone, we raised over $3,000 for SickKids Hospital. So for that, I thank you. Cheers to you. Cheers to everyone in the world who clicked a video, one of the 2.5 million or so over the last month. Thank you so much. And let's go get another campaign started for the Playoff Pulse when we do every single game of the NHL and NBA playoffs live right here on TSI. We'll see you in the chat. Thanks for keeping it classy.
Program back where it belongs, which is raising trophies, playing in Final Fours, and competing for national championships. Just super fortunate to be with this group right here.
Look, in this run, you knocked out the reigning two-time champions. You knocked out 2 #1 seeds to stand here tonight. And you had to do it in come-from-behind fashion, too. Where does the belief come when you're down 12 in the second half and there's a struggle in the midst of this?
Our perimeter, our senior leaders have been amazing all year. They've kept us poised, they've kept us centered, grounded, We've had to come back quite a bit this tournament, as you said. But these guys have been elite with their composure, and our young guys in the front court fight like hell for these seniors every day. They compete and they find a way to win. They are winners. They continue to find a way to win.
I know that like a lot of coaches, you have dreamt of this moment. My last question for you is, how do you like the view from up here?
It's amazing. Thank you, Gator Nation. Thank you for coming and showing out for the Gators tonight. We love you guys. I'm glad we were able to make you proud tonight. Go Gators, baby!
Can I get Walter Clayton Jr.? Walter, because the most out.
All right, before Walter Clayton gets up there, I've got to add this in here. Wow. My goodness, Gainesville in the house celebrating the national championship. And we just had a visitor from the Bahamas and New Zealand back to back, followed up by Malaysia and Canada. Man, thank you for hanging out with us all over the world. Cheers to the Nassau, Bahamas viewer that's hanging out with us. When we go on a family vacation, we'll have to find you. Heading to the Atlantis soon, hopefully. One day, maybe. Go Gators, national champions 2025.
Bucket and do anything, so my team held me down until I was able to put the ball in the basket. Shout out to them boys.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations on that little daughter of yours, too, as well. I know this is going to be a great celebration for you.
Gator boys, stay hot, man.
These are your national champion Florida Gators. Congratulations, and again, thanks, San Antonio. Iron Eagle.
EJ, gritty, tough, resilient. Florida wins the national championship. Congratulations to Gator Nation. It's the third in Florida program history, 2006, 2007, 2025. It belongs to Florida, 65-63 over Houston. We'll be back with much more after these messages.
Design you feel in every detail. Technology as innovative as it is effortless. These are luxuries you don't have to wait for. This is Buick, now. Buick, exceptional by design.
Get 0.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on these Buick models. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get up to $3,000 allowance on Encore GX.
During month of free, Buffalo Wild Wings gave to me free boneless wings, free delivery, a sandwich that is free, free burger, and a free dessert. All because I joined Rewards for a month of free. Yes.
All right, insiders. There you have it. We have finished the Bracket Mania campaign. Stefan, Carmen, Byrne, Rick. I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of mods. Rod Bottomley has been hanging out in here as well. Cheers to the wrenches. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. That was a successful run of streams. Every single game of the NCAA tournament. Wow. That was a run. Absolute run. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you for being here and making a difference in our SickKids Hospital Bracket Mania campaign. Over $3,000 raised in 1 month by 2.5 million people around the world who stopped by to say hi and watch and listen and cheer on their favorite college basketball team during March Madness. It was a fun run. It was a lot of work. But I can't wait to do it again next year. We'll see you all back on Selection Sunday 2026 as we get ready for Bracket Mania, the second annual Bracket Mania campaign. But make sure you're here for our Playoff Pulse campaign starting up on April 20th when the NBA and NHL playoffs kick off. We will be live for every single NHL and NBA playoff game. It will be hectic. It will be chaos. It will be insane in this chat and on this channel, but I can't wait to hang out with all of you here and have some fun while we watch sports and keep it classy. I'll let the post-game run for another 30 minutes or so, and then we will see you tomorrow for the Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox. Thank you, Insiders. Cheers.
Is presented by Buick. Continuing here from the Alamodome, where in as dramatic a finish as possible, Florida Gators knock off the Houston Cougars. That game the other night, both games the other night were great. This thing, you celebrate for the Gators, you appreciate what they were there for and what they've done. But if your heart doesn't go out to the Houston Cougars, who had a 12-point lead in this game and then watched it slowly vanish, and the Gators take the title.
Tell you what, Ernie, both of these teams showed tremendous championship grit, perseverance, and toughness. I didn't know if Florida could win a game where they had to play more like Houston plays than they play. But they showed in that second half they were up to the challenge. Won the free throw battle, only had 4 turnovers in the second half, and held Houston to 31% shooting. And the last play epitomized the kind of grit you got to have to eke out a championship against a worthy opponent.
Hey, Kelvin Sampson and the Houston Cougars, they imposed their will on you physically, mentally, defensively. There's only one way you can beat them. You got to be one more play tougher. And that was the last play of the game. They blitzed Fuzan, they blitzed Cryer, and they stepped up on the last shooter, Emmanuel Sharp, and wouldn't let him get a shot off, and ended the game diving on a loose ball. Look at this here, a blitz on the first ball handler. A blitz on the second ball handler as the big man starts to come. Sharp comes, they rotate out, take away his 3. Now it's a loose ball, and Alex Condon dives on the loose ball to end the game. That's the only way that you can beat Houston.
Great defensive play by Clayton Jr. at the end. Yes, indeed. However, shout out to both teams who they deserve to be here. They were the best 2 teams in this tournament. They deserve to be here. You know, I'm a little surprised that Houston honestly didn't go earlier in the shot clock to extend the game. They were going for the win. Yeah, but going for the win is not the odds. Hey. You know, might be right for some people. If you're scared, get a dog. No, if you're scared, you wouldn't be here. You went for it. They went for it. No, we did not come here to tie. They went for the win. No, but I feel I'm a better team even with 5 more minutes. No. That's how I would have felt. Kevin, so I would have possibly, it's a surprise, but it was still great defense. Florida wins the game because they were the better team, able to come back in with a 12-point win. And I'm going to give Kevin his flowers. Because I told Jay and Clark, I said, he's going to go for the win. You did. I said he's going to go for the win. I respect it, too. I respect that because they played as well as they could play and were still down. They played as well as they could play. And they did a lot of what they usually do. Yes. They did a lot of that. And to be tied or down 2 with the ball, I'm like, yo, man, hey, we played great. We're still down 2. 5 more minutes. The advantage got to switch to them. I give Kevin his flowers, man. I always say, hey, if you're scared, get a dog.
65-63. That's your final score. A 2-point win for the Gators in a game that was as dramatic as you could possibly want for a chance to cut down the nets. And the Capital One rewarding performance is another second-half performance that told the story for the Gators.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think they led for less than a total minute in the game, Ernie.
Yes.
And the fact that they stayed with it down 12, we've seen it happen a couple of other times with this team. Again, I just think it speaks to the resilience, the toughness, the will,
And both teams displayed it. And Florida, to Jay's point, one play more.
They led for 103.
Yeah.
In the game.
Yeah, you know, if you look at the dynamic of the game, they were able to offensive rebound. They were able to defend the perimeter, defend the three-point shot. But the funny thing is, the last two plays were the opposite of what they had done. They gave a three to Clayton, and Clayton plays D on the three. Right. So it was an actual, they looked like Houston on the other end for the last two possessions.
By the way, Werner is proud to provide special edition podium ladders for the net cutting celebration. Werner, the official ladder of NCAA March Madness. And as you heard Jay tell us earlier this week, you win the national championship, you cut down the nets, you get those ladders.
That ladder comes to you during the season, and they present.
Now that's a flex. Now that's a flex, Jay. Not the ring, but telling us you got the ladder is a flex.
I've known Jay for 40 years. He's never been on a damn ladder.
Well, if he ever wants to be, he's got plenty. When we come back, the moment you've been waiting for, one shining moment is next.
At AT&T, we confidently guarantee our network.
B2, Baker, 2. Bingo!
But what we can't guarantee is Cooper Flag having any chill.
Bingo!
Nice one, Coop.
Let's go!
Now go shake hands.
Yes, mammy.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, the deals you want, and the service you deserve. Or we'll make it right. That's the AT&T guarantee.
Teddy, good try.
So with Geico, we can easily bundle home and car insurance and save even more.
Cheers, Insiders. Thank you so much for hanging out with us through all of the live streams. The Bracket Mania campaign is now concluded. The first annual. We're going to do it again next year. What a ride it was from the tip-off just a couple of weeks ago when 68 teams are now down to the one, the champion, the winner of it all. And oh yeah, our Bracket Mania pool, you're getting a t-shirt. Now thank you so much for being here, and thank you for helping us just by being here, clicking our video and hanging out with us here on YouTube. You made a difference. By sharing the link out, by subscribing, by liking, by doing all of that cool YouTube stuff, it is a massive contribution to our donation every single game, every single month. And just with this campaign alone, we raised over $3,000 for SickKids Hospital. So for that, I thank you. Cheers to you. Cheers to everyone in the world who clicked a video, one of the 2.5 million or so over the last month. Thank you so much. And let's go get another campaign started for the Playoff Pulse, when we do every single game of the NHL and NBA playoffs live right here on TSI. We'll see you in the chat. Thanks for keeping it classy.
The opportunities as Houston asserted control early.
Oh my goodness. They were all over the rim, chesting the rim all night at the Houston Cougars.
Yeah, that was Javier Francis, and then 21-18 is your count.
Hey, give Kevin Sampson a lot of credit for the way he played Mr. Clayton. You not going to beat us, young man.
Yeah, block shot there.
First half, Charles.
Yes, get to the rim. Throw it up.
Richard.
Chesting the rim again.
That's Malik Wilson. Will Richard kept Florida within striking distance. The deficit was only 3 for Wilson.
But here comes Wilson again.
Yeah, he was nice off the bench.
I don't know if the banker's open on Monday.
Yeah, that was luck. Here's Will Richard. He had 14 in the first half.
He finished with 18 and 8. He was super for the Gators.
Yes, he was.
31-28 was your halftime score, and then the Cougars up the lead to 12 early in the second half, and then Gators coming back at them.
Doing it with defense, Ernie. Hoop and harm there for Thomas Houck after the block shot, and then Clayton. This is his first basket of the game.
Yes,
that
got him going.
His goal was an and one, and then his next bucket was an and one.
This from a guy who had back-to-back 30-point games and then didn't score until 8 minutes, didn't have a bucket until 8 minutes to go.
Big shot there.
Yeah, from him.
Every shot here was big, but then he got loose, Clark.
And when he gets loose,
games, he doesn't usually miss the opportunity to cash in.
1-point game, 64-63. Turnover, Emmanuel Sharp.
And that was Will Richards, too, reaching in to get that steal. Will Richards made some huge plays in this game.
Last chance, under 10 seconds to play.
Yeah, so, this is when he looks for the three. You got to get it to the rim because they had almost just as many offensive rebounds tonight as they had defensive rebounds. They had 15 offensive rebounds and 24 defensive rebounds. So 15 offense. I got to get it to the glass and let my animals go get it.
Yeah.
You're right. You got to get a shot off. You're right, Arnie. Or shot fake and draw a foul there. You know they're trying to take away the three.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Getting it up early.
It Takes More, presented by Powerade. Remember, they won back-to-back titles in 06 and 07, and now they win in 25. And the Florida Gators with Todd Golden, the youngest coach since Jim Valvano to claim a national championship. Valvano was 37 back in 1983.
I want to congratulate obviously the Florida Gators, the national champions, but I also want to congratulate Kevin and the job he did. But I also want to say thank you to Duke, Coach Shower, and Cooper Flagg. And I want to give my love to Bruce Pearl and my Auburn Tigers. And I want to say Janai Broome is the greatest basketball player in Auburn history. And I can't wait to go down there when we retire his jersey. He's been great for the school. He's the greatest player in Auburn basketball history with me and John Mingelt and Chuck Person and Mike Mitchell. But he's taking the throne, man. And I can't wait to go down there and retire his jersey.
How about Todd Golden before the game? I have great respect for him. They asked him, are you nervous? Do you have butterflies? He said, yeah, I'm nervous to have butterflies. He's authentic. He's legit. His team plays that way with great heart, great guts, great respect for him.
We have 20 seconds left. I would like you guys to say something, but
it's been great, Ernie.
I know it'll take more than 20 seconds.
It's been great. Doesn't get better.
And now we wrap up our coverage from San Antonio with a moment our late colleague and our beloved friend Greg Gumbel relished. The chance to say, here is one shining moment.
It is a basketball party like no other. There's nothing like it for me. Rivals only Christmas. Never gets old. This place is rocking. This is why we do this every March.
The madness on us.
It's going.
The ball is tipped. There you are. You're running for your life. In all the years, no one knows just how hard you work.
This is where deflection. We got you, buddy. McNeese. Tournament victory.
The time is short. Is long in the blinking of an eye. It's gone, and when it's done, you always reach up there
to the freshman queen who's trying. Record-setting. The Crimson Tide. Texas Tech has won.
Feel the wind in your heart. It's more than a contest. It's more than
Usain Buchanan. The Cougars riding high. Clayton from outside. The Gators are going to the. And another #1 seed.
And when it's done, when you lose, you
The storybook season. We're underway. Sets it in. The Husker goes. Furious comeback for the Houston.
Design you feel in every detail. Technology as innovative as it is effortless. These are luxuries you don't have to wait for. This is Buick, now. Buick, exceptional by design.
Get 0.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on these Buick models. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get up to $3,000 allowance on Encore GX.
What's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Welcome to our world of extraordinary hydration science.
Meet Liquid IV, sugar-free hydration, scientifically formulated with electrolytes, vitamins, and 0 artificial sweeteners. Liquid IV, sugar-free.
Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage returns new Thursday on CBS.
America's quirkiest detective.
I need you on a case.
He's ready for more.
I'm all in.
Elsbeth is all new CBS Thursday, 10/9 Central.
The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes. The NCAA programs deliver $4 billion in scholarships every year. Those D1 scholarships are now guaranteed. Health and well-being services are mandatory. Student athletes get tutoring as well as financial literacy coaching because almost everyone is going pro in something other than sports. The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes.
People say to me, you always seem to be having a good time. And you know what? You're right.
Weather alert has been posted for Wednesday with more rain and snow. Your forecast tonight.
Hey guys, there's something I want to talk to you about. There's a change in the air.
Two changes.
Two changes. Isn't that where the dog beds go?
Yeah.
And no matter how perfect things are now, and you don't want them to change,
It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I told you it'd be fine.
The 3-row luxury TX, because everyone should feel like the center of the universe.
A blind spot that's never out of sight. How it should be. The Hyundai Tucson.
Right now, get 3.99% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement.
I changed the filter. We need a new furnace? Who do we call? Four Seasons.
Call Four Seasons for a free estimate on a new furnace from $39 per month. Furnace and AC combos from $57 per month. Plus interest-free financing for 72 months. We'll beat any competitor's estimate by up to $1,000.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
A breaking news update right now. Gunshots inside a busy hotel in River North. Police shooting a suspect they say was armed with a knife. A terrifying situation in Bucktown. A huge tree comes crashing down on a driver who walked away without a scratch.
I believe God was on my side. I didn't get hurt, and thank God for that.
This spring cold snap is bringing us another round of snow and rain Wednesday. Your hour-by-hour forecast with your First Alert weather next.
A national champion has been crowned. We'll have post-game reaction from San Antonio when we wrap it all up for you right here on CBS Center Court.
Great to have you with us. First breaking news, an Illinois state trooper was hurt after this crash on the northbound Bishop Ford near 130th. You can see the large emergency response along the expressway. We're told the trooper's injuries are not serious and they should be okay. Breaking news update now. A man shot by police is in critical condition. Officers say he chased them with a knife in the lobby of a River North hotel. Happened in broad daylight at the Courtyard by Marriott on Hubbard. Our Marissa Sulik was there for the aftermath and explains what witnesses saw.
Chicago police say they saw a wanted man with a knife and went after him. They say he got away from them and ran inside the lobby of this River North hotel.
It was the police presence that caught people walking by this Courtyard by Marriott on Hubbard off guard.
So we're going to find some place to keep us warm?
Let alone the people staying at it.
A lot of cops, a lot of red tape. Saw an ambulance pull out.
John DeChico and this group of Texas Christian University students were heading back to this hotel when they saw it was closed off. Mark Schaefer, a guest as well.
I just got dropped off by my Uber driver. I was down visiting my family, and everybody was just running around. The ambulances were leaving, and I asked the cop what's going on. He says, crime scene, somebody got shot.
I've heard of like drop a knife multiple times.
Pedro Priori says he was on his way to the bus stop when he saw a man carrying a knife 10 feet away. He says he saw two officers chase after him with a taser.
The guy ran inside the hotel, the lobby, and all the cops flew after him, of course.
He's wearing all black. He has a large butcher knife about 6 inches.
Once inside the hotel, the man seems to get away from police.
He hopped on the elevator. We don't know which floor he's on now.
Chicago police say they tried to de-escalate